Hello, Just Too Good here, and today I want to do a special video, and it was supposed to be more elaborate. I'm going to take a look at the last decade in Lego, and I had this whole script written for like some of the years, but I don't think I'm going to have enough time, and plus I feel like I'm getting sick to really do a whole decade elaborate edited video. So I thought, instead of missing it before the new decade starts, which is, I think, a lot of people would lose interest, and even I would lose interest in covering the decade once this new decade starts, let's just do a casual Brickset, light on editing look back at each year from 2010 to 2019. So, for context, 2010 was about the second to third year of my involvement in the Lego community, because I joined Brickset October 31st, 2008. Hold up, let me take a sip of tea. And in 2009, I was full swing into it with Euro Bricks. I joined that as well in January. And then in 2010, that was when I started, people were like, who's this Just a Good guy? Because I started covering some of the Lego Toy Story stuff and everything. In 2010, when it started, actually right before it, when it started in December 2009, I have just fond memories of going to Target and getting the RC set, the RC Toy Story set, which honestly, I'm talking about Toy Story now. I should probably put up the Toy Story stuff right here. Getting this set, the RC Woody and Buzz to the Rescue. And that was just like one of my favorite moments in my life, just getting that at Target. I know it's such a small moment, going after school and getting that. But that was when my love for Lego Toy Story really came out. And it was because the hype as a kid, I mean, Toy Story 1 and 2 were my favorite movies. That's what we would jam into the VHS player over and over. We would jam into the DVD player, and I could recite Toy Story 2 probably by heart. And to see it come into Lego form was like a dream come true, but I didn't realize that until I saw this on shelves, and it's like, holy crap, like this is actually happening. I remember when the preliminaries leaked for these sets, which are 2010 sets, Toy Story 3 sets, and they were very basic boxes, but they basically spoiled that Lotso's the villain of Toy Story 3. And when I saw that, I was like, whoa, like these sets are like mind-blowing. It was this one, and then we also had Lotso's dump truck as a little thing. So for me, when I look back at 2010, that is the year of Disney Lego. Because if you guys didn't know, before 2010, Disney and Lego didn't really partner up for about a span of 10-ish years. I think they had sets 99, 2000, 2001, around that. And they were very basic Mickey Mouse sets, which, again, thank you, Brickset, for existing, because I could do stuff like this. The Mickey Mouse sets, which you could see, they were almost like Fabuland sets, which I like, but I know a lot of people don't like. I don't really have fondness for these sets. I only own one of them, which I did a review a couple years back. They are pretty hard to get. So they didn't really go into the full swing of partnership until they had these years off, and then in 2010, 2010, Lego and Disney partnered, and one of the themes was Toy Story. Another theme was Prince of Persia, which, if you guys aren't familiar with Prince of Persia, I've done some reviews recently of these, and these are pretty interesting because Prince of Persia was an action movie based on a video game. And the video games are sometimes rated M, so that kind of blew my mind back then. But, I mean, the one it was based off of, which was Sands of Time, is, I think, rated T. But this was kind of a failure of a theme. They didn't really sell too well. And you could see Lego learning with this theme and some to come in 2011 and then 2013, and we'll get to those later. So they had those two Disney themes for system, and then they had some Cars Duplo sets. But that's what I remember when I look back at 2010. But there was a lot of other great stuff in 2010 from Lego. Another thing that stood out to me was that 2010 was like the year City got really good. Because City I mean, when we look at City now, we think police, fire, yada yada. It goes over and over again. The great vehicles, which the great vehicles are always like the most interesting City sets of the year for me, or any big non-fire or police thing of that year. Back then, it was kind of the same, where we had about 2 cycles of police, because I think it was 2005 and 2008. About 2 cycles of fire. I know we got one in 2010 and maybe 2007, maybe 2005. I don't remember. But this is when City kind of started going outside of that and doing more civilian-based sets. One that stood out to me was the small car. This was kind of like the first modern City set as I see it. Not only as it's based off of a modern vehicle, the smart car, that compact car. Maybe in the comments I'm wrong, but I always saw it as that. And also, it had a new torso print and face print for the time, which kind of blew my mind for such a cheap set. But you can see it's labeled even on Brickset as Traffic. And if you look at the Traffic theme, we had a few leading up, but really in 2010, look at that. There's just like, that's about 6 of them. And the ones that stood out to me, this one right here, the Toys R Us truck, this was a 2010 set. The truck is cool, but a Toys R Us actual like store, and it was like a little 8x16 base plate build. That was awesome. This was a really cool set too. Public transport. Again, I back then I wanted stuff like this from City, but we didn't see it really until 2010, and it was revolutionary in that aspect as well. Really, the one before that in 2009 was the City Corner Pizza set, but that's a whole nother thing. Other than that, this limo over here was another fantastic kind of random City set. And I like that they were going outside of what we would expect from City. We got more airport stuff. But that's all I have to say for City in 2010. Another big thing was the return of Lego Harry Potter. Because for the longest time, from 2007, which had one set, and then the last Harry Potter sets before that was 2005, we just did not have any Lego Harry Potter. So they kind of did a reboot of the theme, and usually they would base sets off the newest movie, but this is the first time where we saw them base sets off older movies. So they had Freeing Dobby, Quidditch Match, Hagrid's Hut, the Burrow, and Hogwarts Express, and then the Hogwarts Castle. So it was just kind of a mesh of all these different older sets we've seen and some newer sets. To this day, we haven't gotten a remake of the Burrow. This is a set I remember getting for, I think, my birthday in 2010. And you have to understand that in August 2010, I quit Lego. That was my only Dark Age. It was from August 2010 to November 2011. So I did ask for these, but I wasn't really hyped for them. And I got them. I was like, oh, I wanted retro video games instead. But I'm so glad I got this. I'm so glad I got this because this is an amazing set. It's incredible. And they haven't remade it to this day. I'm sure we'll get a remake eventually when we get to the 6th movie in the cycle. But really, this Harry Potter line was much like the Harry Potter line we got in 2018 that's continuing to this day, where they would do remakes of older stuff. So it was cool to see Harry Potter return. For other things that came out that year that stood out, Space Police Wave 2, or Year 2, I guess would be the better way, because Wave 2 was these 2 January sets, which were like, whatever. I don't really care about those. I should probably buy this one someday because I like that figure, and it's relatively cheap on eBay. But the Wave 3, which is the summer 2010 sets, which is part of Year 2, they had this one, which was whatever, which is funny, the only one I own. But these 2, I always want, and to this day I still want, but they are so popular that they go for so much on eBay. One of them was the Space Police Central, which was a play set. Really cool space station. That's a police station. A police station I actually want because I haven't seen this before. A police space station. So that was really cool. And then Lunar Limo, which is just one of the builds I love of this theme. And also one of the figures I love of that theme with Brick Daddy. And this kind of has a following online now. So that was another thing that stood out. Lots of Bionicle stuff, but that's not something that I'm too into, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. Looking over here, we got more Toy Story. I've talked to those to death. Oh, yeah. I totally forgot. When I wrote the outline of my original version of this video, Kingdoms came out this year. And Kingdoms was different from the castle theme we got from 2007 to 2009, which those were fantasy era castles, so you'd get skeletons and stuff. But Kingdoms was knights versus knights. So that was kind of the selling point. More mature, I would say, than a lot of other castle themes. But I didn't get too much of them. I love them, but the 2011 sets are amazing for them, and we'll get to those later. They had some pretty cool little Impulse sets, which is something we don't see anymore. Lego Impulse sets, if you're wondering what that's all about, Impulse is, I'll show you the box size. They're like, they don't make them anymore, but they were these square box sizes, and you could find them sometimes in the Target seasonal section and then at Toys R Us. And they were just these little sets. Now we go with polybags, which is okay, but I just kind of miss Impulse sets. So going down, Atlantis also started that year, which is fond for many people. I got most Atlantis sets. And the first wave had some standouts like the Gateway of the Squid, which I really liked. Also just some really detailed figures with the squid guy and the mantis guy, and then also the shark guy, which he came here. and those used rubber pieces, but they were kind of cool. And then that summer, Portal of Atlantis came out, and this is a set I still want to this day. It even has a morbid reference to Aqua Raiders, where there's an Aqua Raider skeleton. But other than that, the Star Wars stuff I don't have much of a comment on. You're going to see I might skip things that you might like because they didn't touch me then, you know? Like, the Star Wars sets that year didn't connect with me. The Hoth Wampa Cave is the standout. It's, I think, the only 2010 Star Wars set I own. But I know a lot of people did love the Battle Packs. I own this one, too. The Mandalorian Battle Pack was in 2011. And then Power Miners Year 2, which I love Power Miners. I've reviewed most of these sets. Actually, yeah, I think I've reviewed all of them. And these were more lava themed. This is actually an error on here. But Lava Traws is my favorite of the bunch there. I love this Big Fig lava monster. I love the cool drink thing right here. So that was cool to see. Also, I almost forgot. This is like my favorite city set of all time, the City House. This was just a random Target exclusive from that year. But I love this set. I love this idea, but they never did another City House ever since this one, so that's kind of sucks. You can see Jang is grilling on the grill right there. Also, weird theme, Ben 10. When we first heard Lego Ben 10, I was like, oh, I'm ready to get some cool figures, but no, they just went the construction route, which was very odd. But I guess Bionicle Stars was this year, right? I don't know, I skipped over it. And Hero Factory was this year, too. But another huge thing, just 2010 again was just like such a big year for Lego for me and just for the whole Lego company. Lego minifigures started. So Series 1 came out that summer. And back then you could actually scan the back of the barcodes and see which figures you could get. But Series 1 still has a special place in my heart. Series 2 does not. I mean, Series 2 did come out when I was in my dark age, but I do remember going to Toys R Us and getting some of them. I think my grandmother was down here at that time, and we would just go to Toys R Us. I got like 2 packs of those and some Harry Potter sets, but again, I wasn't really super into Lego, so I didn't really cover it. Back then, minifigure packs were $2 a pop, so that was kind of interesting. Now they're $5, which blows my mind. Another weird theme was World Racers, which was kind of like a Wacky Racers type theme or something like that. We did have the Racers theme exist at this time, but this one's different because it was minifigure based. So that was like the main selling point, I guess. I didn't get too many of these. I kind of wish I got this small, cheap set. I'm going to put it on my want list so I could go back to it. I got this set recently, but honestly, it's not. I don't look forward to building it. I don't know why I got it. It was a random purchase. But for the bigger sets, I almost forgot about these. The Imperial Flagship was one of the most advanced pirate sets to this day and super pricey now. It goes for so much on eBay. Let me take a sip. And the Grand Emporium is one of my favorite modulars. Still got to build it, though. Winter Village Bakery, one of my favorite Winter Village sets. And we're probably in the polybag territory. Because polybags did still exist even with the Impulse sets, but they were more used for promotional stuff. But I do remember finding this one at Target. And I think this is when we started to see polybags more and more at like Target. And I think 2011, they started appearing in Walmart. That set did come out in 2010. Lego Universe, I think, started in 2010, which was a big thing for a lot of people, not personally for me. And yeah, we're probably in promotional territory. So let's go on to 2011. 2011 had more Hero Factory stuff at the start. I guess maybe in the beginning. Did I say that these were Bionicle? Bionicle people might be triggered. Let's see. Let me see if I gotta go back to 2010. Did I say this part was Bionicle? Come on. Oh, no. Okay, so I kind of skipped over the Hero Factory stuff, but Bionicle and Hero Factory had the same number range. Because, yeah, Bionicle did have, in January, they had the Bionicle Star stuff. So, anyways, 2011, this started Ninjago. And this is a big thing for a lot of people. For me, I was still in my dark ages, but my friend got me, I think, the Kai pack right here. And the Ice Dragon right here. So these were my first 2 Ninjago sets. And I wasn't really into the first wave because, again, I didn't get back into Lego until November 2011. I missed this set. Like, this set I wanted that blacksmith shop. Where is it? Right here. This was another set I really wanted from Ninjago. This is a great set from Ninjago. This is a pretty fun set from Ninjago. But again, I missed out on all of them. I remember I did buy this one like after church one day. Like it was one of my few purchases in the Dark Ages, and it was cool. But also City that year did some police stuff, so that was the third cycle police, as well as some space stuff. And the space stuff I missed out on. I missed out on this one, which I always wanted. Missed out on this one, which I could have got $35 for $35 at Walmart, and I skipped out on it. That was when I was back into Lego in 2012. This set I got when I was back into Lego in 2012, and I'm glad I did, because this was another one of my favorite city sets. I gotta do a top 10 city set someday, because there are sets like this that really connected with me. Same with the family home that I just love, and not a lot of people talk about. That was like a Target exclusive. We also got some of our last Spongebob sets. So the last wave really came out in 2012 with Glove World, which is one of my favorites. I think that's a great little play set for $20. More Lego, the Lego game stuff, which none of the ones this year kind of stood out to me. The 2010 ones were actually pretty good, but I skipped over that. But this was another Disney property that came to Lego form, which is the Pirates of the Caribbean. And these were ones that I missed out on for the most part. I had to buy this one secondhand. I bought this one secondhand. I bought this one secondhand. You guys have seen those in those holes. But I have accepted that I will never get this set, even though I love this set. I love pirate ships. I love this set. But this set is like $1 jillion on eBay. Like, getting it sealed, whew, it's a pipe dream. This is another set that I saw on clearance. And out of all the Pirates of the Caribbean sets, I'm like, yeah, I didn't really miss out on much here. It's a cute play set, but meh. And this one, oh, I did see this one on clearance. This one I do regret not getting. This is an awesome set. I mean, it's like this older style building, fantastic mermaid minifigures. Yeah, I gotta put those on my want list. You know, same with, oh my gosh, this was another one that was just, this goes for even more than the Black Pearl, I think. Just the best pirate ships were like released in 2010 and 2011. And ever since then, I mean, what pirate ships have we gotten? We got one for Pirates of the Caribbean, which was the undead one, and we'll probably get to that in a later year. But also that Brick Bounty, which was just, it's super, super simple and everything. It makes me sad. The Speedboat right here was a cute set that I missed out on. I do want that one. But this fishing boat, I remember getting, I think, Christmas Eve 2011. Again, that was the set I missed out on when I was in my Dark Ages, but I got it right at the tail end when I got back into Lego. And this is one of my favorite city sets as well. It's just very simple, very effective. This is another one I got recently that I always wanted. A very cool kind of cafe setup here. It reminds me of Florida. I'm a Floridian, so there you go. More Harry Potter stuff. This one being one of my favorites because it's just a great minifigure pack for, I think it was like $12 back then. Because, you know, sets that you would expect to be $15 nowadays were like, what was it? Yeah, $12. And then it climbed to $13, and then we just eventually got to 15. There was a new Night Bus. There was a different Hogwarts connection, which was cool. I think the 2010 Harry Potter sets in general were better, though. There is one really cool Harry Potter set that should be coming soon up in this list. But other than that, oh, this was another, some good Creator sets. This was actually the first time that Creator had minifigures. So that was, I think, the first set ever from Creator to have a minifigure in the modern age. And then the Lighthouse Island was another fantastic one. I remember getting that for my birthday, I think, in 2011. And Duplo, more Winnie the Pooh stuff. Winnie the Pooh came back. This was something I was looking back at 2011 one day. I'm like, there was Winnie the Pooh sets in 2011. They coincided with the new movie. Yeah, the castle sets of that year. This is one of them that I always wanted. Such a cool small set. And again, this is Kingdoms. So it has this more mature look to it. And I never was able to get this. And it goes for a lot on eBay. It goes for like $40. A theme that came out that year was Alien Conquest, which wasn't one of my favorite Lego space themes, but it is one that I really like looking back. They had these classic alien type looks with these UFOs and these tripod invaders and stuff like that. Also, the Earth Defenders had this nice blue color scheme to it, which was really interesting. But I missed out on most of these because, again, I was in my Dark Ages at that time. More Kingdom sets. This one, oh my gosh. I don't know why this isn't on my want list, but I wanted this so bad. And this had a very short release time, and this has become one of the most expensive Kingdom sets ever. Like, this set, I will always want. It's just, oh man, this is amazing. But yeah, the Mill Village Raid. I mean, look at that. They have goats. I never see that. Spotted pigs and spotted horses. These are all animals you can't even see in other Lego sets. And just like this civilian design for a kingdom setting is just so unique to me, and I missed out on that. I really regret not getting that one. I almost forgot. Pharaoh's Quest was that year, and even though I was in my dark ages, I was smart enough to be like, okay, I gotta support this theme because I love Lego Adventures. This is like a one-of-a-kind theme. I remember I got this one from my mom for Valentine's Day, actually. And then these I got on release. But I was not smart enough to get this one. I found it for $50. It was $50 Black Friday 2011 at Target, and I skipped out on it, and I regret it to this day. This is a set I will forever want. But other than that, I'm trying to look at the Star Wars stuff. Nothing really stood out. I guess Hoth Echo Base was a cool one. And, of course, the Mandalorian Battle Pack. But I'm not super nostalgic for this era, so sorry. And, they did have the Falcon. That was like one of the Falcons that a lot of people love. And Atlantis had year 2 stuff, which I got this one back in the day. Some interesting change-ups. I got this one recently. This is really cool. I love that figure, who I think is exclusive to that set. And this is another set. Oh, he also comes in there. This is another set I really, really, really wanted back then. But again, I was in my dark ages, so I didn't have the motivation to get it. And I regret not getting it. Lots of sets I regret not getting. And then we go into the world of Lego Cars, which I have a soft spot for. I don't even love the Cars movies, but I just love the system they have going here. It's kind of like Trolls in that sense, where I love the system they have, the collectability, where you could collect all these different cars, and you could display them next to each other. It actually looks really cool. Looking back at these, like, I didn't get these. I didn't get any Cars sets in 2011, but I got them when Cars 3 came out in 2017. If you guys remember, I almost reviewed every Cars set. I think there's very few I'm missing. Like this one I own, but I just never got around to reviewing it. This one I own, but I never got around to reviewing it. But again, this one I own. I think I never got around to reviewing it. But I just love the system here of the printed cars, the collectability of the cars. I think it's really cool. And then Series 3 came out. Series 3 sucks. Series 4 came out. Series 4 rocks. Series 5 came out. Series 5 was kind of mediocre. But this was one of the first sets I got when I was back into Lego in November 2011. Was Series 5. I remember going to the Sawgrass store because I missed the opening of my favorite Lego store, which is a Sawgrass store. But I went when I got back into Lego in around like December 2011. And I got some of these, but then I ended up getting a lot of this series on clearance. For some reason, like I found a lot of this on sale at Target and Walmart. Trying to look back to some of the more D2C sets. This was one of my favorite Harry Potter sets. Never got it. Regret not getting it to this day. Hopefully we get a new Diagon Alley eventually, but that goes for a lot on eBay. Pet Shop I actually found on clearance for like 110, but again, I didn't really have that money to spend because I started my Lego channel in 2012. You know, I uploaded my first video in January 2012, and I don't think I started making money on it until like later in 2012. And even back then, I couldn't start buying whatever I wanted until around 2016. You know, because the money I would make from here, which this is my job, this is my love, this is my passion, it wasn't, anywhere near what I make now. So I had to be very selective on what Lego sets I would get. So I didn't buy every Lego set back then. So I have to thank you guys, because if it wasn't for you guys watching stuff like this and tolerating all my jibber jabber and all my stuff, I wouldn't be able to buy Lego sets like I can now. And that's basically what happened back then. Because yeah, if I had the money I had now, I would feel more comfortable buying this, and then I can make the money back from reviewing it, but I couldn't do that back then. And anyways, back to the sets though. The Post Office came out this year, which is one of my favorite Winter Village sets. Check out my Christmas sets list if you want to see more stuff about the Winter Village sets. But that's it for some of the sets. There's just more poly bags and everything. But a lot of these poly bags I got later on because I love buying poly bags off eBay. 2012 was a big year for Lego because it was when they released Friends. And it was a big year for me because that's when I started making YouTube videos, or Lego YouTube videos. So something like this was like kind of revolutionary to me, even though when I look at it now, I'm like, that does look kind of bad. Nowadays, Lego Friends uses more, I guess, gender neutral colors, as people would say. I don't really care about that, but this was so cool because you wouldn't see a cafe in Lego City. So this was revolutionary to me. Also, these hair pieces was just like, whoa, that's an amazing new hair piece. That's an amazing new hair piece. They all work with Lego minifigures. So I remember this was, very old haul that I got from like Barnes & Noble or something because I got it on sale. There was a coupon or something during March 2012. And I'm trying to see. There's more, but I guess they have different ranges because there's some smaller Lego Friends stuff. I remember the Advent calendar was like one of my first popular reviews for some reason, but looking back, it wasn't really that popular. Also, the Spongebob sets that year were amazing. Like, this was a fantastic set. This is a really fun set, but this one goes for a lot on eBay. I want to get it someday. This one I got secondhand on eBay. I didn't buy it back in 2012. Even though I saw it on clearance and everything, again, I just didn't have the money to spend. Let me see. There was some more 2012, the little game sets. I forgot about that. But this was the first Lego Friends set I ever got. This was in December 2011. My mom found this at Target or something, and she just brought it over, and it was just like, whoa, this is like a really cool little set. Same with this one I got, I think, after that, and I really just wanted it for some of those pieces, like the milk print, which they still use to this day, the hair piece. I didn't really care about the mini dolls themselves, but I didn't mind them. I remember this was one I got on like my mom's birthday or something like that, and that was way back when in 2012. That was summer. City did some mining stuff. This was the mining stuff, which I don't really care about those. I kind of wish I got this one though, just because I like getting the small sets of each new sub theme or whatever. This one I got like secondhand recently, right? Instead of fire, they did forest fire, and this was actually kind of a revolutionary theme because this was the first time with it should be around here, right? Yeah, mountain police. So this was the first time Lego was seeing people getting tired of like police stuff, but they wanted to make more police stuff back to back. So we got police stuff in 2011. So what they did was, let's set it in the forest, and that's what came with forest police. And that's something they do nowadays. They have sky police, mountain police, yada yada. This was a really cool, I think this was a retail exclusive. I always wanted this for this, not only the bear, but also this shack here. Oh, this is like super nostalgic looking back. This one I got at Target for like $15 or whatever. I think that was in a haul video. And this was another one I liked back then. I liked these police sets. Now it feels tired, but back then I liked it. The big thing of 2012, though, is superheroes. And this was kind of like the year of superheroes for me and for the whole world, because Avengers came out, and Lego reacquired the Batman license, and they got the Marvel license. So we saw these horrible construction figures, but we saw the bigger sets later on, which I'll get to soon. I guess I thought they were going to be numbers right there. Dino was a theme. This was the first set I got that got me out of my dark ages, because I was out of Lego from August 2010 to November 2011. This was a set that I bought. That was it. I was back into Lego, and I got this at Toys R Us, and that was like the only Dino set I ever got, because these go for a lot on eBay, and they didn't really interest me. More Hero Factory stuff that I'm not into. Here you go. Okay, so for the DC superhero stuff, because the Marvel stuff released in spring, so DC was in January. And this is one of my favorite sets of all time. It's the Dynamic Duo Funhouse Escape set. I just loved this Funhouse design. It was kind of something I've never seen from Lego before. Nowadays, we get a lot of amusement park stuff and fairground stuff, but I didn't see it from Lego. The closest thing was the carousel, the Ferris wheel, which were like a creator expert sets and stuff like that. So this was really fun. The Batcave of that year, some people like, some people don't like. And then this right here was another set I loved, because this was the only way the first time we ever got Lego Superman and Lego Wonder Woman and Lego Lex Luthor, and it was a cheap $20 set. So this was an instant buy. I think I got this and this for my birthday in 2011, but I might be wrong. And that was when I was back into Lego, so I was really happy about those. And then, of course, Marvel. So I remember these were just leaking into stores, and these were some of my first reviews, and oh man, this is a really rare one looking back, because it had the same appeal that the Superman one had. And I wish they did more of these, where they're just random comic-based sets with some obscure characters. So this was just a random X-Men set. It wasn't a tie-in to anything, but it gave us our first and only wide-release Lego Deadpool figure. I mean, the other ones were in San Diego Comic-Con, Deadpool Duck and Western Deadpool. And it gave us Wolverine and Magneto, which they did come in one more set in 2015. Well, actually, I guess also they came in that Mighty Micro. So that was one that the build, wasn't really that good, but the figures were awesome. And that was something I could say with a lot of these Lego Avengers sets, too. The builds aren't really that good looking back, but the minifigures are super, super cool. So, this was our first Lego Hulk. This was the only way to get him. These were our first Lego Iron Man, first Lego Loki, Hawkeye. And now we see so many versions of them. This was the only way to get Captain America back then. But those have a soft spot in my heart for that. And then this set is so important to the channel because this was, I think, the first Lego news video I ever made was just a picture of this, and I was like the first one to get it, the picture of it, and I put it out, and it was a hit video for me back then. Like, it had like 1,000 views. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I got this from Walmart early, and I think that's when I started making money off this channel, was that review, because that was I think even bigger than the news video. I was the first one to review this set, and the review was awful. It was dark. I had a squeaky voice, but back then, I mean, that's all we had. We had that. We had the Brick Show. We had Lego Lee 329. We had some other people, but it was pretty primitive back then. But for minifigure series 6, this is a really fun one. Some of my favorites that had some very useful hair pieces that are used to this day, like Sleepyhead. Also, the Mechanic was another one. Those were the first appearances of those head pieces. Series 7 was awesome as well, with fantastic figures like Galaxy Patrol, which was an original trope back then. This was like one of the most mature Lego minifigures or whatever. Now we've seen that done many times. The Bride is cool. Rocker Girl, stuff like that. Very good series. Series 8 was like the odd one, but looking back, I do like it a lot. Oh, I think does it say I don't own these? I think I own these, but I gotta double check. These two right here, I swear I own this guy. That's Pretzel Boy. But that was our first appearance of this Santa Claus, which is just a fantastic design. This is one of my favorite figures to this day. And that's been reused in stuff like the Santa's Workshop set. Oh, the DJ was another really cool one with that awesome hair headphone combo. Team GB was a weird one that was only released in the UK, but I'm trying to get all of them. Some of them are more expensive than others. Like, I think I have this one too. I gotta really update that. I've been slacking on my Lego Brickset collection. Also, Ninjago that year had the Venomari, the snake people or whatever. And I didn't really like these, honestly, and I don't really like them looking back. But there's some great sets, like the Samurai Mech. This is a classic, I like this cute little one right here. And the Ultra Dragon here was really cool. And then my favorite theme of that year, besides the Marvel superheroes and everything, was the Monster Fighters. Monster Fighters, oh my gosh, I love this theme. I mean, I love spooky stuff, horror stuff. And I don't like actual, modern horror movies, but I like the spooky tropes. The mummy, the swamp creature, the werewolf. So this was basically just the theme perfect for me. And out of all the sets, this is probably my favorite. The Vampire Castle. This is just probably my favorite Lego castle ever. It just has a lot of fun parts. It's a really interesting gothic style with the colors and everything. And it did have some great figures with the Man-Bats and the Bride. But also, some other ones I liked were the Zombie set, which this goes for a lot on eBay. Because this was one of the first Lego sets to feature zombies in it. It was, Series 1, which had a zombie, and then this. So this had a very limited release. It was a Target exclusive, and to this day, it goes for a lot on eBay. And I was very lucky to get this one. It released at Target. Fantastic build here, but now we've seen more and more of these, so it might be a little bit less interesting. Swamp Creature was cute too. That was one of the first ones I got. This one I got secondhand. This is a really good one. And then another big theme of that year was Lord of the Rings, which, speaking of mature castle themes like Kingdom, this was the next step. It gave us our first new version of this horse, where you could actually pose the legs up and make them stand up and stuff like that. And some very mature builds like this Helm's Deep. And unfortunately, I think because it was so aimed towards older fans, it might not have sold as well. But I think if they released Lord of the Rings now, it would sell a lot better, because we have a lot more of an adult fan base, especially after the Lego movie, which we'll get to later. But I do own a lot of these. I'm very happy I own a lot of these, even if not a lot of them are built anymore. Like Miles and Moira, I got to rebuild. But they just put a lot of detailing into these, so I'm happy with that. We had some Lego car sets too, which I guess the first year stuff was better. But I liked the $6 to $7 figure, car sets like these, because they had these weird variants. Like, okay, a Jeff Gorvette one, okay, I'll take it. Ivan Mater, all right. Let me see what else. The Star Wars stuff that year was actually, I think the first video on this channel was me going to Toys R Us, and I found this set, and I'm like, oh my gosh, 2012 Star Wars. I remember Brick Show commented, I'm like, oh my gosh. And they also had a lot of original trilogy stuff, so we got the TIE Fighter and the X-Wing Starfighter. And I wish I got the Gungan sub, honestly. But even more so, I wish I got Jabba's hut, That's Jabba's palace. What was that? Jabba's hut. But that one, to this day, is very expensive online. I did get the Desert Skiff for that Christmas Eve, which I'm happy I did, even though I wasn't super into Star Wars. Like, at this time, I didn't rewatch the Star Wars movies. I rewatched them in 2015 before The Force Awakens came out, and that's when I started getting super hyped for these. But I was just like, oh, cool figure here, cool figure here, cool figure here, and that's why I got them. Also, some Old Republic, right? Yeah, the Old Republic sets, which were kind of interesting. That's a property that was not what you would expect. Lego doing a video game-based set, but they did 2 here. And we got more of those, I think, the year after, but I might be wrong. And Palpatine's Arrest, this is another set I really wanted. Got to put that on the want list. And lots of Ninjago spinners and everything. The modular that year was Town Hall, which, looking back, I really want now, but back then I didn't have much interest in. It's just like one of the biggest modulars. It's a very interesting build. I think there's even like an elevator or something. R2-D2 buildable was really cool. I found this on clearance at Walmart and I didn't buy it. Again, I just didn't have the money for it. And there's this set, which I don't know. You guys know. You guys are like, you said you'd buy it last Halloween. I know. I gotta buy that sometime. I don't even want to look at it. This was like one of the worst Winter Village sets, and to this day, I don't really like it. It was the biggest at the time, but like, it's just, I don't know. I just don't like it. I don't like the build here. I mean, it's a cool cottage, but like, it's not interesting to me because everything else is like, okay, we have a bakery, we have a toy shop, we have a post office, and then it's just like one random cottage. Like, okay, so where's the other cottages, So, and then the vehicle build didn't really interest me. So this is not one of my favorite Winter Village sets. They have this weird mini modular sets, which was like the first VIP exclusive set you could buy. Yeah, I think it was, because in 2012, later that summer, they had the minifigure reprints or whatever. And this was just kind of a weird set that they haven't done since. They haven't done another mini modular thing, but they had the first few modular building sets there. And yeah, I'm trying to look, not really much else. I saw Life of George, don't have much to say there. This was one of my favorite polybags to this day. But 2013, okay, I got to be more efficient with this. Palace Cinema. Didn't care when it came out. I like it now. I got it, thankfully, before it retired. I didn't really care because I had the Town Plan Cinema. Winter Village Market, cute Winter Village set, but at the end of the day, not one of my favorites. I guess not in the top 5, top 10. It made it. I like the carousel build there. That's the best part. Everything else is just kind of meh. Ewok Village, regret not getting to this day. I love that set. It's an ultimate play set. Hopefully they do a remake. Tower of Orthanc, regret not getting to this day. The only direct-to-consumer Lego Lord of the Rings set. And I'm just noticing, I look back, where the heck were the Hobbit sets? That's what I want to know. Oh, actually, that's a good point. I know why the Hobbit sets didn't show up. Gotta go back to 2012, because the Hobbit sets were in 2012. If you see, the Hobbit sets were kind of revolutionary. And this is a key point. Look at this. They're all the way at the end. The Hobbit sets were the first Lego sets to use the 5 code numbering for a wide release. Yes, I know there's some exceptions to that, but I mean, like, as a theme, in 2013, Lego started using 5 numbers for the numbering of Lego sets. And the Hobbit theme was the first one, because these released right at the end of 2012. They were like November releases. And these sets I love. I mean, this was probably the best wave of the Hobbit stuff. This is one of my favorite sets of all time. It's just the perfect Hobbit hole build. The outside, it looks fantastic. Unfortunately, mine is a little bit broken down. I got to rebuild it. And what was cool about the Hobbit sets was that each one, I mean, some people might say this is cool. I thought it was cool, and I'll tell you why. Each one had an exclusive dwarf to it, besides this small one right here. So these were the only ones you could get, these two right here. I don't remember their names. This was the only set you could get these. Oh, wait, was Thorin in 2? No, yeah, because that was the other one. That's not Thorin. This was the only one you could get. Thorin, I remember Thorin. And then this guy right here. This was the only one you could get. This guy, and this guy, and this guy. And, oh, my favorite, this guy right here. This was the only one you could get, this guy and this guy. And then finally, this was the only one where you could get these two. That was something that a lot of people might be annoyed that they're dispersing these minifigures in different sets. But to me, I saw them not even like making each of these dwarves. So to have them all in the first wave in different sets, and the detail on these were like the most detailed Lego minifigures I ever saw. Like, just look at some of these pieces. Like, even to this day, these look like up to date. Like, this is all one piece, by the way. This whole part's one piece. This is a really interesting piece. This is a really interesting piece. And for most of these, like this part and this part, I don't think they ever appeared in a Lego set again. Same with this part. I don't think ever appeared in a Lego set again. And for a lot of the time, in the movies at least, these were minor characters. And they put so much... Like, look at this piece right here. I think he might have appeared in a set again. But this piece, so interesting. These beard pieces and these hair pieces. Look at this hair piece. I don't think this has ever appeared in a set again. Or maybe he was in the later one. I don't know. And that just blew my mind, how much detail and effort they put into it. And unfortunately, I don't think they sold too well. The Hobbit movies weren't even that good. But in these, again, in the Hobbit movies, I don't know about the book, but they just weren't really prominent characters. But Lego put the time and effort into these pieces, and I really appreciated that. So those were a really strong wave of sets. But anyways, 2013. You could see that now we have the direct-to-consumer sets at the start, because those are the lowest 5 number product numbers. So these were, we covered those. Lots of Duplo. Arkham Asylum. This is a set I have, and I got to build. But this was a really cool direct-to-consumer Batman set. First Minecraft sets. Oh, wait, no. First Minecraft sets was here. Where is it? It's around here somewhere. I don't know. But the Kuso Minecraft set. Because back then it was... Kuso was Lego Ideas. And they had a Lego Ideas Minecraft set. And they were basically like these. They were micro worlds. So they weren't minifigure scales. But they were just kind of like a cube. And for the actual sets, we're going through polybags and everything. Okay. We're getting there. I like these little... they were like polybags of seasonal stuff. They don't do these anymore, and they were really cool. This was the best one, though. Thanksgiving feast, because this was a really cheap way to get the turkey, which was kind of rare at the time. Oh my gosh, Jeffrey's decapitated head. But this... I'm trying to think. Yeah, the Friends sets. This was one of my favorite Friends sets, so I got to cover this. It was like one of our few Lego school sets, so it was really cool to see this, and it was kind of like a modular design. So that was really good. This was another really good Lego Friends set. But where are, the system sets I'm looking for? Come on. Lots of Hero Factory. Okay, so City that year had these... This was the next police one was like Midnight Police or Night Police or something like that. I don't know. They had a weird aesthetic to them. I want to see... Yeah, Brickset just calls them police sets, but they were kind of set at night, and one of them was a museum heist. Another one was this... it was like a rundown apartment. I always wanted this, but it was like $50, and I don't care about that. I don't care about that. This is a pretty cool build, I guess. But yeah, it's just like, look at this. And then the interior of here was like nothing, but just like this rundown apartment build was just kind of interesting. Not really too much else for this. Wasn't the best year for City, was it? Town Square, this was pretty cool. Even back then, looking back, like I liked the 2009 pizza place better. The bike shop was cool. That's probably the best build there. Yeah, I liked the 2009 bus better, and even the 2010 bus was more interesting. Chima. This was... I forgot Chima came out this year, and Chima was just a weird theme. I mean, there's not much to say about it that I haven't said before. This was the big Chima set. I got every Lego Speedor set, and I regret it to this day. I mean, I guess not, because those were very popular videos for me, so they also helped in, like, bringing up the channel. And I liked them back then, but, like, nowadays it's just, like, ugh. And basically, these Speedors, if you don't know what it's all about, is that you would put the ripcord in the Speedor, and you would pull it, and then the Speedor would go kind of flying off the table or whatever. Some of these were interesting, like this skunk minifigure is exclusive to this one set. But I don't have too much else to say about Chima. It was a thing that existed. A lot of people were worried that it replaced Ninjago, but Ninjago came back in 2014, so it was all good. There was Castle, which was the castle theme after Kingdoms. These had like yellow boxes, and these were basically the opposite of Kingdoms. They were, yeah, night versus night, but that's about the only similarity, because everything else was super, super like dumbed down and kind of juniorized, as people would say. Not necessarily bad builds. Like, this was a fine castle. This was a decent little tower, but it just didn't have the complexity that Kingdoms had. The Ninjago sets this year was probably my favorite year of Ninjago. I just like this gold aesthetic they had going on. See the gold there, gold here, golden dragon. This was like super. So we only got like 6 sets this year, and then there was like a little weird side set, but I might not cover that. But even these 6 sets were extremely popular and just some of my favorite Ninjago sets. Like this, I always wanted this Temple of Light build because I liked just the color of it. Like they had a cool color scheme, this red and the black and the gold. And again, a lot of them kept up that color scheme. Kai's mech over here. And even some of these villain sets right here kept up that color scheme. Though I think these are the weaker of the wave. And then this was just seeing all this gold in like one set, and the Golden Ninja was just so cool. And I never followed the show, but I love these builds. So that year of Ninjago always holds a special place in my heart. And then we had Galaxy Squad, which was a weird theme. Like it wasn't rumored for a while. I don't think we had much rumors of it, and then it just kind of showed up in stores, if I'm not mistaken. I remember it showed up at like a Toys R Us Express. And these were cool, though, because basically they had different factions of, like, these galaxy... So this one, instead of alien conquest taking place on Earth, this took place in space. They versed these bug people. Yes, I know, you can make all the jokes about how I'm a mantis and everything. But these were mosquitoes, okay? We don't associate with mosquitoes. No, I'm kidding. They're cool. They're cool people. But they had different factions where they had different colors. So, like, there was a blue team. There was a red team. There was a green team. And there was the orange team. And if I'm not mistaken, I didn't go too deep into the lore, but I think each team represented like one was like the attack, one was the defense, one was this, one was so it was like really interesting. There was a lot of lore into it. They also gave us some cool robot people in there as like the team members, but I do remember this set very fondly. This was like one of the first I got. It was a very early review. I remember it being quite popular, and we only got 2 waves of it. So in summer 2013, we got this set, which was awesome. I loved it. This is one of my favorite mechs to this day. And this one I always wanted because that's like the Twitch vehicle, but I never got. And I never got this guy either. And then the Galactic Titan, which this is just a behemoth of a set. And that was it. But it was a cool... I miss themes like that. Just random original Lego themes where it just pops up and then they go. But it had a really cool imprint. And I know a lot of people look fondly to this day. Another weird release one, like Galaxy Squad, this just kind of showed up with Series 9. And Series 9 had... not too many figures I love, but like some classics, like Chicken Suit Guy. This is a classic, you know. This was another one that was really cool, kind of went in line with the Galaxy Squad stuff. But Series 10 was 2013, which of course is a very iconic theme because Mr. Gold. That was it. But other than that, like Trendsetter was cool, and Librarian. This was a cool one I liked. Also liked Grandpa, which was interesting, seeing like a bald cap piece, even though it's pretty inconsistent because now they also use bald people as not having anything on top of their head, but whatever. It bothered me even back then, but it's not a big deal. So that was cool. And then Series 11, I mean, this is one of my favorite series. Hello. Need I say more? I mean, there's just nothing more. But also, Gingerbread Man was awesome, and Holiday Elf was awesome, and Yeti was awesome. Blues Brother gave us our first saxophone, but we'd get more of those in the future. The year after, actually, which you guys know why. Let's see, though. Is there anything else after that? Oh, that's funny. I didn't know that the Star Wars numbers were after this. I got the Rancor Pit, even though I never got Jabba's Palace. I got it knowing that I would get Jabba's Palace, but I was wrong because I never got Jabba's Palace. But because I found that on clearance. More of these, I didn't cover these last year, but they actually came out in 2012. They were these planet sets, which were basically the microfighters. Before microfighters, you would get a miniature scale build and a planet from Star Wars, and then you would get Asteroid Field. Yeah, this was when they really ran out of ideas, huh? But I think some of these had very limited releases, or they didn't end up releasing. Some more cool sets that year was Duel on Geonosis, even though I'm not really like a prequel guy. I think this is a cool set that I hope to see a remake of in the future. Jabba's Sail Barge was cool too. It gave us some pretty, like, I didn't ever expect to get these as figures, but we got them. Like, Max Rebo is awesome. And the superhero stuff this year was kind of odd. There was a Dark Knight Rises set, which was just not accurate, but it existed. And I kind of want to get this to say, because, like, Dark Knight Rises is a meme, and it's Bane. I hope I did the voice right there. Yeah, you remember Bane's Tumbler having his symbol oval over there? Yeah, no? Okay. That to this day, I just love that set because it's just so, like, why is there a Dark Knight Rises Lego set? I don't get it. And it was released after the movie came out. Like, what? It just blows my mind. But also we got Man of Steel sets, which was our first DCEU movie. And there's one that was really cool. Oh, this one was my favorite of the bunch. because it was $20. You got a good selection of the figures and not much more to ask for. But also the Marvel stuff that year was great because we got 2 more Spider-Man sets, and this is one of my favorite Marvel sets to this day. This is another Marvel set I love. Like this was an actual good build. I think this year, like the Marvel stuff were actual pretty decent builds because this was a good build. This was a good build. Okay, this wasn't a good build, but had a great figure. This was a good build in my opinion. And isn't there supposed to be one more? Oh, well, we all know which one that is. Come on, it has to show up. Where is it? Oh, I can't believe I missed it. This was an amazing build, just so accurate to the movie. You know, Iron Man 3, remember when he had the Zamboni little thing. And we did get more Lord of the Rings sets with, I think it was our first Gandalf the White. Where is he? He's somewhere. Yeah, there he is. So you got Gandalf the White. Also, my favorite Lord of the Rings set, I think, which is Council of Elrond, because that's just a beautiful set. Like, look at the colors on there. That was the first time we're seeing these autumn leaf pieces. And then just a weird choice with the pirate ship ambush. I don't know why they made this a set, but it existed. And that was it for Lord of the Rings. There was no more Lord of the Rings sets unless you count Lego Dimensions. And the Hobbit sets that year were kind of cool. They were random ones that did just show up in stores, but they had a cool aesthetic to them. Like they had the boxes. I gotta show the boxes on. I gotta click on one of these. Because the box designs are like one of the best boxes ever. I just love the coloring there. Just look at that. Like, that's a beautiful just artwork and color scheme. I love that. But they had almost this fall aesthetic to them, and they did come out in the fall, so I really appreciated that. And to this day, I never got this one right here, but I really do want to get it. And it's pretty cheap secondhand, and I love Radagast right there, who's just a great figure. Also, oh my gosh, I forgot this came out this year. The Tmnt sets. There was a lot of new, because what was it? It was Galaxy Squad and Tmnt both came out in January 2013. This was a very interesting theme. It was one that kind of came out of nowhere. It was rumored, but this was probably my favorite of the bunch, and I never got it. I love the turtle layer. I love both turtle layers they got going on. But the smaller set's very colorful, very cartoony, and I love that in Lego sets. And the figures were like really detailed. I like their molded heads. I like their turtle shell pieces, and they gave us some cool creatures too. This is a cool pizza truck. So, this is another one of my favorites. I love the build for Baxter's robot. I also love the Baxter minifigure. I like the April figure. Those are 2 really cool exclusives. But my favorite theme of this year that came out this year was the Lone Ranger. This was incredible. This was like, we didn't deserve this theme. And this was that theme that I was talking about where it was much like Prince of Persia, where it did flop. It didn't sell well because the movie just didn't do too good. But these were incredible. I mean, it's Lego Western, but if it was a modern adult theme like Pirates of the Caribbean, again, I say adult theme loosely, adding older teen build, where they took time. They weren't simplified like builds or anything like that. This was a fantastic set. This is a fantastic set I never got. This is a fantastic train, like just the best Western train I think we got. It even came with a full track. Some very detailed figures, like I love the Butch figure right there. That's his name. Also, some of these figures right here, like she has some great hair, or was it he? I don't remember. I haven't seen the Lone Ranger movie since it came out. This set right here, like, I mean, she was a prostitute. Like, that character was a prostitute. We got her as a figure, so I'm just saying. But this was one of the most detailed minifigures ever. Like, that's awesome. And this one right here is another pretty cool one, the Komachi camp. This was just a great army builder. Just very detailed builds, detailed figures. And it was for a movie that just wasn't really that good. Trying to see if there's anything else for that year. Yeah, not really that much else. But 2014. Okay, so 2014 was a big year for Lego because this is the year the Lego movie came out. And that kind of made Lego like super popular in the mainstream again. It got a lot of adults back into Lego. Made resellers go crazy buying Lego sets and stocking up. Because there's like a billion articles also when the Lego movie came out that said, oh, you could sell Lego. They're better investment than gold or whatever. So that was great. But anyways, Parisian is one of my favorite modulars, if not my favorite modular. I mean, that's just a beautiful build. The Fairground Mixer, that was a cool set. This was one of my favorite Winter Village sets. Love the build. Just 2014, I mean, as much as I love 2010, 2013 had its moments. 2014 might have been the best year of the decade for Lego. Not only for them doing well, because sales were up. Same with 2015. I think those two back to back. but also just things that were fantastic. So not only do we have that, but my favorite Lego theme is coming up. It's, my favorite Lego license is coming around, besides Toy Story, because Toy Story and this license go hand in hand, if you guys know what it is. Oh, wait, I just noticed this. Looking back, there's one set. The Lego Idea sets just aren't showing up, but the Back to the Future set came out this year in 2013. I forgot to do that. Where is it? Ideas, LMNOP, whatever. Here. Oh, yeah, is it really listed as one set? Come on. There you go. So in 2013, this set right here, the Back to the Future set was revolutionary because it was like interesting seeing Lego do sets based off of like an 80s license that wasn't Star Wars, or I guess Indiana Jones if you want to say that. And it was just a random set, but it was a Lego Idea set. It won the votes or whatever, it got approved, and it's one of my favorite movies. So it was so cool seeing this, though I was disappointed with how the hood came out. Anyways, it seems like every time I start a new year, I got to go back and cover one thing from the old year. But 2014, other fantastic sets that year, Ghostbusters Ecto-1. Again, another classic 80s movie where it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they're making a Lego Ecto-1 set. Like, it makes so much sense, and it took them this long to make it, but I'm glad they did. The exosuit, this was just a great original idea for an idea set. And we don't even see these too often, but like the treehouse is another one of these where it's just a fantastic original idea, and it gave us our first green spaceman. Research Institute, I didn't really care about this one, but it did have some cool prints. And then we got our first Lego Minecraft minifigure scale sets. And we're not even getting to the best stuff this year, but like this was fantastic. This is one of my favorite Minecraft sets because it was just a fun play set. This was a failure of a theme, which was the fusion, which was just awful. The app wouldn't work. It was an AR app, but the app just wouldn't work. But the fun begins. I mean, it's coming up soon. I mean, this is another one of my favorite creator sets. Again, 2014 was the best. It was just so good. And I did a top 10, I think, or top 15 of 2014. So if you guys want to see that video, it's kind of out of date, but I cover a lot of the great stuff from 2014. One of my favorite Lego Friends sets. I mean, it's one that's kind of important to the channel because that was like the header or whatever. Did Disney Princess? Yeah, Disney Princess started. I forgot this started in 2014. This was a big theme. So these came out in January 2014, and these were our first Lego Disney Princess sets. Yeah, up until that time, there was not Lego Disney Princess thing. So that was the first time we're seeing Ariel in Lego minifigure form, seeing Cinderella. I mean, not minifigure form, but as a Lego figure, seeing Cinderella as a Lego figure, seeing Rapunzel as a Lego figure. And it was good for its time, but looking back, I think the Disney Princess sets currently are much better. I did get this one because it was like, whoa, Cinderella's castle as a Lego set. That's incredible. Whoa, Merida as a figure. That's incredible. And I don't think, have we gotten Merida since? I don't think we got any other Brave stuff since. So I doubled down on a lot of these because it was revolutionary for the time. It was like actually seeing Lego Disney classics translated into Lego form. But, this was one of the best Lego Friends sets I didn't get, which is just a shopping mall. I mean, you don't see that from Lego often. Mixels was a theme that did indeed exist. I keep forgetting about it, but these were, if you guys aren't familiar with Mixels, they were like $5, and you could build them into these crazy creatures, and it coincided with like a Cartoon Network show or something. But the best is still yet to come. There's two things I'm looking for. There's two amazing things I'm looking for. And it's coming up, but like they're coming up, and you guys know what it is. I mean, I mentioned one of them already. City that year got Arctic, which was they were pretty cool. I mean, because we didn't see Arctic stuff since I think the town Arctic from way back 2000-ish. So it was cool to see that in like a modern Lego setting. Wow, was that really the only Arctic set I got? That's pretty bad. And police, they did police again, which I guess some of these were kind of interesting, like just getting this part right here and this part like here, but whatever. Good train station, which I got the train station, but I never got the train, even though I wanted this train here because I love that white coloring. The white and red just matches really well. Some great vehicles and everything, which I noticed in 2012. I didn't even cover it, but 2012 had two of my favorite Lego City sets. I know we're going back in time. This is, again, a very casual, hasty video. 2012 had the ambulance, which I love. This is my favorite Lego ambulance. I just think it was done perfectly. And then they had the car and caravan, which is one of my favorite campers, But anyways, 2014, because great vehicles started in 2012 where they would have the $20, vehicle set for City for the most part. But City, yeah, I kind of said everything with City. There was another camper van or whatever, light repair truck. So they started doing like $10 great vehicles here, which they still do to this day, like the racing car or whatever. Come on, where's the great stuff? More of the Chima stuff, which they had these thing called Legend Beasts, which I kind of regret not getting. They were cute little builds, like they were just these. You get the animal and you get a minifigures like $10, but they were cool brick built animals, honestly. But the regular stuff were like spider themed and everything. This was an interesting play set. This was kind of an interesting play set. And then that summer they had Fire and Ice, which I think this might have been the best like wave of Chima, because this was actually like a legitimately cool play set. That was like the At Mammoth or AT Mammoth. This one I didn't like. It was weird. It was a flying temple, so it was not only a vehicle but it was also a temple. Yeah, it might have been too much. This was pretty cool though. More of the whatever the speedors. Oh my! I forgot this again. 2014 was just amazing. Like I forgot Ultra Agents came out this year, which these gave us some fantastic figures. I used to really like this build. I think I gave this set like an A+. I might be wrong though. This was a really cool build. This piece was super awesome. Fantastic figure. A lot of people love her. This was a great figure too. Just if anything, Ultra Agents had some fantastic figures, but I did like a lot of the builds. Like this was a really cool build. Great figures. So Ultra Agents, again, just a random random unlicensed Lego theme. That was an original action minifigure theme, and I missed those. 2014 Ninjago were the rebooted stuff, which were pretty cool too. They Overborg Attack. I love this Overborg figure, and Thunder Raider, which is one of my favorites. That's a great set. This was one that a lot of people loved with Pixel. This was a pretty cool dragon. And it was weird because they had a wave of sets. Then this one came out like, I don't know, like a month after at like Target. And it was just like, it didn't have anything exclusive about it because this figure also came in a book. And then they had 2 sets for Ninjago in summer. I don't know why. It was just 2. But this was a bad one. This was an awesome one. I had the opportunity to get this so many times and I didn't. I regret it to this day because this is just, love the color scheme on there. The dark green and the red is just, mwah. Perfect. But okay, so this is one of the 2 best things. First off, the Lego movie. I mean, first off, the Lego movie is one of my favorite movies of all time. And then second off, the Lego movie sets is one of my favorite themes of all time, because these sets were they were so crazy, but they were another level of detail that you see with the Lego movie type sets. So Lego Ninjago movie has the same level of detail in Lego Batman movie and Lego movie 2. But I think the Lego movie 1 wave did it the best. So they had these sets that were just one build, and they were just crazy builds, but again, very detailed. And then they had sets that were 2-in-1 builds. So this was an ice cream machine, like a weird like flying ice cream wing or whatever. But also, it was a ice cream truck. So you could rebuild it into either one, like Creator does nowadays, So that was the ice cream one was the best one, but there was another really cool one. These 2 I didn't really care for, even though I own this one. And then the playset builds, like Lord Business's Evil Lair. Oh my gosh, this is like one of my favorite playsets. I love how they actually have the Craggle there. This is just a crazy minifigure of Lord Business where they actually have those parts glued on. And Metalbeard Sea Cow, looking back, a very cool kind of mechanical like pirate ship, but I never got that set. And it was the first time we got the double-decker couch, but thankfully it came in a set in 2015. This was the other one I really loved, which was the Flying Flusher. It was a plumbing truck, which, yeah, a Lego plumbing truck. I never heard that before. Like what? I've never seen a Lego City set with that. So they had the plumbing truck, and then they had a porta potty, and that was just incredible. So I love that set. And some of these other ones were kind of like, didn't really care about this one. This one was pretty cool, though, honestly. So many detailed figures. Like, look at the Fabuland figure here. So much exclusive face prints and everything that I haven't seen to this day. But the Lego movie was just so creative. Not only as a movie, but the sets were so creative and fun. I loved it. This was really cool. This set, I never liked the build of it, but it had Johnny Thunder in it, so I had to buy it instantly. And this was so cool, because this was like the first time I saw a flesh tone minifigure with like a yellow tone minifigures, I just throw Batman in there. Now it's more common, especially with the Lego Movie 2 and everything. And then this, oh my gosh, this was like one of the best sets of that year, because not only is it a remake of just the classic Lego space aesthetic, but it's just a fantastic ship. Like, they use a lot of pieces to make it look retro and everything. It makes it stand out. And there's some exclusive figures too. This is one of my favorite Lego sets to this day. I mean, it's fantastic. The CMF line for Lego Movie wasn't one of my favorites, though. I mean, there's some classics looking back, like Scribble Face Cop, which I always see fun little customs with that face there. Abe Lincoln, is pretty cool. The panda guy. And then number 2 of what I loved of 2014, the other amazing thing is Lego Simpsons. This is, along with Toy Story, are my 2 favorite licenses from Lego, because Simpsons is a show that means so much to me. And to see it in Lego minifigure form was like a dream come true. And we got not only a CMF series filled with some exclusive characters. Some of them didn't stay exclusive because they came in sets later, but just seeing all these characters in Lego minifigure form was a dream come true. And I love seeing the little, like, I especially love with this minifigure series, just the weird little references. Like, okay, Donut Fancy, that's from, like, the new opening theme. Old Man Yells at Cloud. I can't recall the specific episode, but I think it's is it a season 8 episode? I'm not sure. And, I love Southpaws, which that is a reference to when Ned Flanders started his Left Hand store, which is one of my favorites. I think when Flanders failed, right? I think that's the name of the episode. Now it's on Disney Plus. I really got to rewatch some of these. And so it was awesome seeing Lego Simpsons as an actual thing. And there's more with the Simpsons house. This is my favorite Lego set, I think, of all time at this point. I mean, the build here was just, oh my gosh. I don't know how they packed it into a $200 set, but there was so much going on here and how it opens up from the middle. Even if it's not super accurate, like it's missing a section up here, which, yeah, it would have been cool to get that, but I guess it was already pricey at $200. So I love this design. And a lot of people were like ranking on this because, they have weird faces. And I'm like, dude, the regular faces come in the CMF series for super cheap. Can you give me some different face prints like this? So they did it here, and then in the next set, which is next year, they didn't do it, and it kind of ticked me off. But yeah, so 2014, year of the Lego Movie, year of Lego Simpsons, and year of just amazing stuff like Ultra Agents, But also, Series 12 came out that year, and Series 12 was pretty good. I mean, I like this guy, and I like this guy the most, probably. These are probably my 2 favorite figures of that series. Pig Guy's pretty cool, too. Microfighter started that year, and these were the early ones, a Millennium Falcon, an X-Wing, all made sense. And this was also the year where I started getting back into Lego Star Wars. So I think I got this one. I think I got the Falcon in the first wave. I think I got... no, I didn't get that. Maybe it was just a Falcon or something. But later that year, I got Mos Eisley. I think for the Christmas or maybe I'm wrong. It might have been on sale. This one I got at Walmart for $21. It's a long story. And they had the last Imperial Star Destroyer, I think that's like not a UCS, because we've gotten like the Finalizer and stuff like that. And maybe the last original trilogy at too. There was the UCS Sandcrawler, which is one I regret not getting to this day. I mean, it's so much better compared to the other one that's almost the same price. The superhero stuff that year, I mean, Batman stuff wasn't really that good, but it gave us some cool stuff like the first Lego Flash figure and Nightwing. I think that was the first Lego Nightwing. So that was kind of cool. A cheap set with the Penguin, which I think was a new version. But the Spider-Man stuff kind of sucked. Again, it gave us some cool figures like this Electro, like a new variant of Doc Ock, and this big fig Green Goblin with Mary Jane, but the builds were just so bad. I don't know what was going on there. Same with these Avengers ones. It was just bad builds. Cool figures, though, because it was our first Red Skull, which... Oh, yeah, we did get one later on. I was going to say our only Red Skull. Only MODOK. I love that design. It was just a big molded head. First Lego Falcon. Only Lego Taskmaster. First Lego, Hulk. But this is when it started. This is, like... when it started to get to the point where they just do the shittiest builds, but like the coolest figures, This was it. But I will say, these had more of a younger slant. I think the Guardians of the Galaxy stuff was a little bit more older audience. I think they were like probably 7 to 14. And this was a cool build. That's our only Lego John C. Reilly figure, I think. He has a face underneath that is literally John C. Reilly's face. This one was maybe not the best build, but I like that big Groot, which was exclusive. Rocket Raccoon was exclusive to the set, sort of. And then this is my favorite Milano to this day. I thought that's a really good build. I think Gamora was only in that set as well, and Drax. And then they gave us this X-Men set, and this was the worst selling Lego set of 2015. Did you know that? This set right here was the worst selling Lego set of 2015, I believe. And it kind of sucks because I like this set a lot. Like, I love the Storm figure, which is our only Lego Storm, only Lego Cyclops, right? Why am I doubting that? Well, actually, we got a Mighty Micro, but one of the few times we got Wolverine with the mask on. Sentinel. So that was a cool set, you know. I like getting the random comic-based sets of stuff like X-Men, which they don't do anymore. The Tumbler, UCS Tumbler, this was another Dark Knight set, which was very mature, and some people were ticked off that they were making this, but like Heath Ledger Joker as a figure, that goes for so much on eBay now, but I would want it just for those two figures alone, because I do like the Dark Knight movies. The Hobbit sets there's one more wave, and they did kind of show up randomly, and it was a good wave. Like, this was a good battle pack. That's the only time we ever got her. Same with him. This one was probably the weakest of the wave. This was a really good set. I liked some pieces here, like Thorin's crown parts. Like that, it was taking an established piece and then adding another part to it. This was kind of a cool build. Eagle there. And then this is a set I wish I got because I love that Smaug figure. It was like a lot of money though. It was $130, and again, I didn't have all the money to spend, but I started getting more and more. So like I was able to buy a lot more in 2014 than say 2013 and 2012. But I like the sand green color scheme, and I do hope to buy this secondhand someday. Also, TMNT movie sets came out this year, and people hate these sets, but I actually really like them. Like, this is one of my favorite sets of the year. Like, this was really fun, and they had these weird headpieces, but like I kind of like that. Like, it was such an interesting concept. Like, it looked awful in the movies, but as minifigures, it kind of worked. And they even made like a new turtle shell piece as well, and that's like another Lego Will Arnett figure. And I do like that Turtle Van build. This gave us some cool figures as well. I think only Lego Megan Fox figure. And then we got more TMNT like cartoon sets. So this was a cool cheap set. I like the build here. I like this figure. This has one of my favorite figures of all time with this guy right here. I just love his torso and face printing, which I think are exclusive to this day. Or I think his torso print was used in like a DC set for the Farmer or something like that. Very interesting character here. Again, interesting character here. Interesting character here. Never got that set though. This was a Toys R Us exclusive, which probably had the best build of all the TMNT cartoon sets that year. And that might be it for the sets this year, though. Yeah, I think so. So we got to go on to 2015. Where's 2015? Okay, so 2015. The year after the Lego Movie, very popular year for Lego. Texas Office rocked, one of my favorite sets. This set was just a crappy remake of an existing set. I mean, they just didn't do much new. I don't know why they released it, but whatever. Never got it. Only Winter Village set to this day I never got. Juniors did start that year. Juniors started in 2014, but Juniors 2015 was kind of cool because they gave us some exclusive prints with this figure here. Now to this day, they're used a lot. I think this guy had an exclusive torso or something, and there's some cool prints there. I always liked this build, and there was some exclusive torsos and colors for hair pieces here. So this is when they really started making Juniors appeal to not only kids, but if you're an adult, you would get some really cool pieces. Same with this supermarket bucket or suitcase. I think this gave us our first minifigure Green Goblin in a while, so it was really popular for that alone. And I think he stayed exclusive to that set to this day. That version, at least. And some more idea sets with the Big Bang Theory. Lots of detailed figures here, despite how you feel about this show or whatever. Lots of great prints. Wall-E, which is one of my favorite idea sets to this day because it's just so well built. Doctor Who, which a lot of people love if you like Doctor Who. Great figures and prints. Let's see. Oh, they had more for their seasonal sets. There were vignettes, which were instead of box, instead of polybags this time. These are more recent, so I'm going to be a little bit briefer in covering these because, you guys might be familiar with these. More Disney stuff, giving us our first Aladdin stuff, and Elves started, and this was just kind of a weird mini doll theme looking back, but very detailed, very more mature fantasy builds, which is something that a lot of people look for. So that was cool. I owned some of them. Friends didn't have too much going on that year, though. I always loved this set right here, the hotel. The plane set was kind of cool. It was like a retail exclusive. More Mixels, which, yeah, I don't care about Mixels. Though it did have Turg, which people said was like, what I think, was that the one that was offensive or something like that? Swamp Police, which was like, meh, you know, whatever. They did start doing these, which were minifigure packs or starter sets. They called them starter sets. I don't think they call them starter sets anymore, but you get 4 figures, and they were $10 each, so it's kind of cool to get the new Crocodile in a cheap set. Let's see. Swamp Police wasn't really that interesting. See, they had a Demolition starter set. This was a cool Demolition set. I forgot I owned this. I got this at Barnes & Noble very cheap recently. Some more space stuff, which they had a space starter set. Again, I missed out on the 2011 stuff, so it was cool to get some of these, though they never made a remake of that one truck that 2011 had, so I was kind of sad. Some deep sea sets too. Just a lot of this was a good year for City. Looking back, this was actually a pretty good year for City. Like, these were really cool. This is actually a really cool set. I never got this one, but I did want it. I like those new printed figures there at the Lego store. This was a cool build. And the coffee chain, which was a reference to the Lego movie. Also, more Ultra Agents, which this was like a weird limited release wave, but it was, I think, maybe even better than the last wave because it had some really cool builds and figures. That was a cool figure for the villain. This invisible guy was really cool. This was a cool build and cool villain. I don't think I got, did I get that one? Yeah, I never got that one. Never got this one either, which, whatever. This was really cool because this figure was just crazy, and this was kind of a cool, like, jet build or whatever. This was a really cool play set. Great figures, too. And this was one I wish I got to say, because that's a fantastic vehicle, and some fantastic figures, but again, it's very expensive secondhand. Some of the best Chima sets, too, this wave, which this was the last year for Lego Chima. So they actually gave us some starter sets as well for Chima, which was like $10, and you get like 3 exclusive figures or something like that, which was kind of cool. Oh, yeah, there was 4 of them. Holy crud, I didn't even notice that. So you got the Lion, Ice Bear, Croc, and Sabretooth. Pirates came back, but it was kind of like Castle 2013. It was very, very simple. So that was quite unfortunate. The Ninjago stuff, this is a summer Ninjago stuff. Both waves were kind of awesome. So the summer Ninjago stuff was Possessed. So it was a ghost theme. This was a great build that I never got. This was a great set that I did get. I love the builds here. And this was pretty cool. The Moro Dragon. Cool Samurai X mech. Ghostified or whatever. Another Destiny Bounty. And then we got the flyers. I think this was the return of the Ninjago gimmicks, because 2014 and 2013 didn't have any, but 2015 had the flyers. Earlier that year, though, they had the Tournament of Elements sets, which these were kind of cool, too. I liked the figures here. They had the orange ninja or whatever. I remember people were freaking out over that. Really cool ninja outfits, too, this year. This is a great set that I built recently, but I got to review it. Oh yeah, I forgot they had a direct-to-consumer Ninjago set, which was the Temple of Erejitsu, and this was something that not a lot of people bought. I think it went on sale for a bunch, and I should have got it, but it's just a gorgeous set. Like, this looks fantastic, and this was a cool little set. This was a cool little set too. Again, 2015 might have been the best year for Ninjago, like, just for all the great sets releasing. Lego Movie got 3 more sets, which were relatively cheap. This is one of the best Lego Movie sets because this was extremely cheap. I think it was one of the best deals on the market. It was $15, and you get all of these, including like this. These 2 are exclusive. This was exclusive. These are exclusive. I don't remember if Emmett was exclusive, but they remade the Smart Car from 2010, and they remade the double-decker couch. So nothing in here is really original, but there's just a lot of interesting parts, and that was all for $15. This one I always wanted because it had like an exclusive Lucy and I think Bad Cop, but I never ended up getting, and I think they released those in Dimensions, so it was okay. Series 13 kind of was meh. I mean, cool stuff like the Classic King and the Paleontologist, Hot Dog Guides, a meme. Series 2 of The Simpsons was one that should not have existed, but I'm so glad it did because I don't know if it sold well, but it might even be better looking back than the original one if you're not into Simpsons, because there's a lot of useful pieces here. This little cola piece right here. This squishy piece was fantastic. And just lots of different characters that we didn't get before. Glad to get Smithers in here. He was definitely missing from the first series. Comic book guys the same way. So that was cool to see another wave of The Simpsons. I'm so glad that they did another wave of The Simpsons. Series 14 kicked ass too. Like the spooky theme once again, something I love from Lego. But it was cool to see all these spooky characters in such a cheap series. Zombie Cheerleader stands out. Gargoyle, Monster Scientist. Again, I'm retreading familiar ground though because I've covered that before. Zombie Businessman's cool. Favorite set that year though was the Quickie Mart. I think the build of this is it's jam loaded with all these references and a lot of stickered pieces, but like it's just everything they pack into that $200 set is just fantastic. Like one of the most detailed buildings that Lego has put out, and it's a convenience store. We don't really get convenience stores from Lego. Also, Snake was exclusive to that set. Lego Dimensions released. Lego Dimensions was a game that existed. It barely played on my Switch, or not Switch, my Wii U. Ugh, I forgot about the Wii U. But it was cool to see them do more Back to the Future stuff, more Simpsons stuff, even though they didn't really do anything with those two. It was weird to see like a Portal set. That was awesome that they actually had a Lego Portal. And it gave excuses, especially in the coming years, to do licenses that Lego just didn't really you didn't expect Lego to do. And they did a lot of one-offs. That year, The Slave 1 came out, which was awesome as well. This is really like this. I know I said last year, 2014. 2015 was really when I just started buying a lot of Lego Star Wars. So I was anticipating the new movie and everything. So that January wave, I bought I think all of these I bought on release, which was like the first time I was buying Lego Star Wars on release. Besides that small Millennium Falcon set. And they were actually pretty popular for me, so it worked out. This was a pretty cool Death Star Final Duel set. TIE Fighter, UCS TIE Fighter was pretty cool. And then, of course, later that year, the Force Awakens stuff came out. And that was, by that time, I think I rewatched the Star Wars movie, so I was really hyped about it. And these were pretty strong sets. Like, for a first wave, like, this was a really fun set. This was a really fun set. This was fun. And it didn't get to a point, we were all excited about the new Star Wars movie. It wasn't where everybody was just at each other's throats like, oh, why are they releasing a new Star Wars? Star Wars sucks now. No, everybody was excited. When The Force Awakens released, a lot of people loved it. Like, it wasn't as toxic as it is now on both sides of the Star Wars community, where it's just like, you gotta love it or you gotta hate it or whatever, So it was fun to get these, and it was fun, very fun first wave. And we got the first construction figures for Lego Star Wars, which was a cool idea, but they didn't last too long. Speed Champions was a theme that released this year as well, which was fantastic to see these detailed cars in minifigure scale, and I think it's a theme that just keeps getting better and better. They keep improving it with scale and everything. Scooby-Doo was an unexpected theme to come out that year. I mean, these sets rocked. This was probably my favorite new theme of the year, I would have to say, because, again, spooky aesthetic, classic cartoony build. I love this set especially, and I love this. These two are like the Mystery Machine set. Like, this goes for a lot on eBay. I know it's been memed because of what I said on Bricks and Bits podcast. If you don't get that reference, but it's a classic vehicle in Lego form, and it's cool to see classic vehicles in Lego form. The Speed Champion sets that year were good. Again, Jurassic World came out that year. I forgot about that. These were super, super popular. These sold like hotcakes. And it was cool to see, dinosaurs again in Lego form, and to see the Jurassic Park license in Lego, because we did get them back in the day, but as studio sets. Also, the superhero stuff that year, it was cool to see Green Lantern in a cheap set, because he was previously only in a Comic-Con exclusive. And these were actually a pretty solid bunch, because this was a pretty good set. This was a pretty good set, because that was like the first Batman mech. It didn't feel repetitive. Gorilla Grodd was awesome, which, oh my gosh, that is unprinted. That's an error. I think this was the first time I got the Flash figure. The Invisible Jet was cool. This was a fine set. I actually skipped out on it. This was really cool because, again, we're getting into more obscure characters. So I think this was the first Cyborg. Yeah, this is the first Lego Cyborg, unprinted too. Whatever this character is, I forgot his name. And then Darkseid. Green Arrow, previously either Comic-Con exclusive or just never in Lego form. So it seemed like, in a way, this was the year where DC kind of branched out in Lego form. And then the Age of Ultron sets were pretty decent. I mean, this was a great Hulkbuster. This was a pretty good Quinjet. And again, we got characters like Vision for the first time. Ultron. This updated version of the Hulk, which looked a lot more accurate than the older version from 2012. Scarlet Witch. what else was there? Oh, the Avengers Tower. This was just a really fun set. Ant-Man had a set which was really cool, $20, and it had a very small release because there was an error with the printing of it. But I love how they upscaled Lego bricks and everything, and they had screws and everything. It was kind of a cool idea for a build. And the Spider-Man sets that wave, like this was pretty cool. Like this wasn't that bad of a build. It had some cool figures. Because these two were summer releases. This was a really good set just for the figures alone, with our first Miles Morales, our first Carnage, and that was super detailed. And I think around this time was when Lego started integrating like printing, or was it dual molding? Yeah, dual molding started here. Dual molded legs were introduced in summer 2015 in these sets. So like the Deathstroke here, that was one of the first figures to have dual molded legs. And they started releasing sets with dual molded sleeves as well, where Scooby-Doo sets had them, even though they first appeared in the Simpsons series from the year before. This is a set I regret not getting to this day. Love Jokerland. It has a Teen Titans aesthetic to it, where they have Starfire and Beast Boy are first and really only non-Teen Titans Go versions of those two, which kind of sucks that they haven't done them since. Really hope to get this one day at least, because it's still a really cool set, and I love that Funhouse aesthetic. I think that should be it for 2015. I feel like I'm afraid I'm missing a lot of cool things, but who knows? I know 2015, it's probably in the numberings or something, but they released these cool cubes at Target that had like an exclusive figure for each theme that they covered. Anyways, though, 2016, Brick Bank, fine. I mean, I haven't built it. I have it. I'll build it eventually. Big Ben, I do own as well. This is one of my favorite Winter Village sets. Cool idea, Winter Village train. I mean, I like 2016, but it definitely wasn't 2014, It definitely wasn't 2015 even. But there was a lot of fantastic sets this year, don't get me wrong. I'm trying to see. The Minecraft stuff, I don't have too much to say, even though there was the first Minecraft direct-to-consumer set, which was interesting. The Maze idea set was really cool, as well as the Yellow Submarine, which gave us our Lego Beatles figures and some amazing part usage. Lakeside Lodge, this was pretty cool. This was when creators started doing some more like store type builds and everything. This was one of the first, so that was kind of cool to get. Let's see, Frozen stuff, meh. This was one of my favorite. I think I got this for my birthday, but this was a really cool like Lego Friends set. Again, supermarket, something we don't get from Lego often. They had the amusement park stuff. Yo, yeah, 2016 had the amusement park stuff, which this was a cool sub theme for Lego. Like, regardless if you like Friends or not, this is just stuff you could get and integrate into an amusement park setting, that's what I did. I got most of them. More elf stuff, which had like the dragon eggs and everything, which were kind of cool pieces. Brickheads was available at Comic-Con, and these were the first Brickhead sets, but Brickheads went into full swing in 2017, and I'm lucky enough to own all of them. Now they're very expensive for collectors, but I got them when Brickheads wasn't really popular, because I was like, this is going to be popular. I think this was the last year of Mixels, too, where we got like TV-themed ones or whatever. And City that year got more airport stuff, which I like this limo one. I own that. I never built it, but I own it, and I will build it one day because it's really cool to get like VIP stuff. More fire stuff. You see, it's like, again, 2016 was good, but the volcano stuff was kind of cool. I like the volcano on this one. Nexo Knights started. Nexo Knights was a big thing. And when Nexo Knights first came out, I was full into it, if you guys remember, because there was just so many detailed figures, and it was an interesting concept, like castle with a futuristic design. And the first wave of sets, I think, is probably the best wave of sets for Nexo Knights, because it felt fresh. But Nexo Knights is something that got really old really quick, because it got so repetitive in its builds and everything. But when it first came out, it was cool seeing this level of detail with figures. I really want to highlight, where is it? These right here, where you would get these translucent pieces and armor pieces, and it was just really cool. Kind of a $10 gimmick set, just like Ninjago would have, And I tried my hardest to get all of them. I think this one, they gave out so many of these, like for free or whatever. This was another really cool one because of the translucent pieces. And this one of my favorites because the clear pieces. But yeah, like this was a cool mech. This was a cool little build. And these were the summer ones, where they had, I think it was this set, this set, this set, this set, and this set, and then this one, and then the retail exclusive. But you can see, like, this is, okay, we got this in the summer, and then we got this in January before. You can see how repetitive it kind of got. Okay, we got this in the summer, but we got a lot of these aircraft. Okay, we didn't get a lot of them. Maybe I'm a little bit hard on there, but this one is similar to one that released in 2018, was it, or something? I don't know. But it just felt like it got old quick. Then that's my feeling of Nexo Knights. It got very old very quick. The Ninjago stuff that year had this cool kind of the old villains came back. So that's my description. I know Ninjago fans in the comments are like, well, actually it was cold this season, whatever. So the summer stuff had those old villains coming back. So it was cool to see like the stone people and some of the ninjoroids or whatever. And then they had Skybound. So it was weird because they had the, I think Day of Departed was like a special or something like that. So that was in the summer, but in the January wave, they had something called Skybound. So again, this was before that. So these were January 2016 sets, which these were super cool. I love the idea of mashing pirates with kind of the steampunk aesthetic in Ninjago. This is probably one of the stronger of the sets. And let me see. Sorry, I got a text. And it was one of our first non-licensed big figs, which was kind of cool. Or I guess Ninjago big figs, because I'm just thinking about Power Miners and Rock Raiders. And then what they did was for that summer, so for summer 2016, we got these Day of Departed sets, which were like referencing old villains and everything. And then we got more Skybound sets. So they had this one, this was one, this was one, this was one, and then this was one. And this was one of the most beautiful Ninjago sets that I never got. Again, I missed out on a lot of cool Ninjago stuff. So I don't usually see that. Like, I don't expect them to do the gamer stuff this summer. I really don't, which is kind of unfortunate because I like that stuff. So they had more sets of that specific wave for the summer, along with another theme, which was Day of the Departed, which these two were Day of the Departed as well. And again, it was almost like Legacy, where they remade existing builds. I especially like this one, and I missed out on this, unfortunately. So that was a cool idea. Series 15 was pretty good. I like the Farmer. This was the first CMF series. Well, no, Series 14 had dual molded legs, so never mind. But it was the first one outside the Halloween aesthetic to have dual molded legs, so it was cool to get like plain dual molded, whatever coloring. That's like the sand blue or something with the dark brown. That's cool. Clumsy Guy had a cool dual molded legs too. So this was Series 15 was pretty good. Farmer, Clumsy Guy, Shark Guy was a meme. Then in spring 2016, we got the Disney series, and this was our first Disney series, and this gave us, for the first time, characters like Stitch and Aladdin, but also remakes of characters like Buzz Lightyear, which this was the first time we saw him with the minifigure head, not a molded head. More classic characters, first Mr. Incredible, first minifigure Mickey Mouse, because remember, the one I showed earlier was like a Fabuland figure. This was the first one that was just a regular Lego minifigure, which is cool. Peter Pan, stuff like that. So that was a really cool series, just filled with iconic characters for $4 the pack. You know, it sold like hotcakes. It was probably better selling than Series 2. I see Series 2 a lot, but I think they underproduced this because they didn't expect the demand here. Series 16 was a weird one that just kind of showed up. They were trying to get it like out of the way so that they could release the Lego Batman movie theme right after. And yeah, I mean, Series 16 had some cool ones like Cute Little Devil, Dog Show winner, and The Spy, which was a Alpha Team reference. Also in Europe, they had the DFB series, which was a soccer series, or football series, which was kind of interesting. And more... Oh, wait. The Disney Castle, almost forgot about that. This was, of course, very, 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 very great set. One of the best LEGO sets out there. Of course, released to coincide with the Disney series, but it released in September of that year when the Disney series released in spring. And then we got more LEGO Dimensions stuff, and this is when it started getting really crazy. So we got some interesting things like Doc Brown with an updated hairpiece, which was super useful, because now they could go outside of that ideas rule and make new hairpieces. So we got also Venkman with an updated hairpiece, which around here, the Ghostbusters HQ came out that year. I don't know if it's after this, but Ghostbusters HQ, a set that has kind of, I've expressed it before, but I've grown to like it less and less. But you see more Doctor Who stuff. This was the only way to get the Cyberman. And then like year two, so Lego Dimensions year two, which was fall 2016, gave us just the craziest shit. So like first Lego Sonic ever, a Lego Sonic minifigure. Yeah, I never expected that. Lego Adventure Time figures, like they just went all out. I mean, and these are still exclusive to these sets to this day. Our first Harry Potter thing in a while. Like again, Harry Potter ended in 2011, and then they came back in 2018. So this was one way to get them. Mission Impossible, like people forget this existed. Yeah, there was a Lego Mission Impossible set, a Lego A-Team set. That was our first Fantastic Beasts set. Lego Gremlins, more Fantastic Beasts. Lego E.T., more Adventure Time. That just blew my mind when they did random licenses like that, and it continued into 2017. And let's see, more buildable figures. The Star Wars sets that year, ones that stood out. Carbon Freezing Chamber was a cool $20 set. I like this set. A lot of people don't. I think this is a fun play set with the bacon flag. It was just overpriced. I think that's our only Maz Kanata to this day. Pretty cool set right here. More Force Awakens spoiler resets, as people would call it. This was a summer wave because those were January. This is summer 2016, where they had the Freemaker Adventures, which was just filled with cool figures, but I don't know, kind of bad builds. More Force Awakens stuff that summer. And eventually we got the Rogue One sets. So these were kind of cool. Some good sets here. It was a pretty decent wave. Krennic Shuttle. I own all of them. I bought all of them on release, but I didn't end up building these two. Or these three, maybe. And some Rebel stuff. Some of the last Rebel stuff. Also, Angry Birds came out that year. Yeah, Lego Angry Birds was a thing, if you guys remember. And this was basically the Lego Trolls of back then. But I think Lego Trolls is a better theme because it is more minifigure-centric. But the builds of Angry Birds are better because they actually had really... Like, people slept on this theme. They're like, oh, it's Angry Birds, so I could get it. But, like, this is a pretty good castle, if you ask me. Just don't put the stickers on it. But that's, like, a pretty darn decent castle. This is a pretty decent, like, pirate ship. If you miss out on Metalbeard's Seacal, this is a replacement. This was fun. Lots of cool colors and everything, very cartoony, so it was my aesthetic. I like that. I like these sets a lot. I think they're underrated, but whatever. And then Ghostbusters, there you go. The Ghostbusters HQ was a set. I mean, the interior is amazing. The exterior, while accurate, just it's kind of boring to me. I get it. It's Ghostbusters, so it makes sense. I mean, it's accurate. You can't really do much there, so it's not a bad set. This one was based off of the Ghostbusters reboot movie a lot of people forgot about in summer 2016. It was kind of a financial failure, but this design was probably, in my opinion, better than the original Ecto-1 in terms, because you could fit all the minifigures sitting down there. It just had a lot more detail, it was more updated. And Lego went all out with this, where they made 3 new hair pieces for this set. Like, yeah, 3 new hair pieces. That's pretty impressive if you ask me. And then they have this really cool figure here. So despite my feelings on the movie, which was just mediocre, I thought it was pretty good. Some decent Lego Speed Champion sets. I really like this one right here with this older style builds and the what is that? That's the Raptor right there. Superman versus Batman. Oh yeah, oh gosh, I forgot about that one. BVS came out that year, 2016. Yeah, not really. This was a good set. And that's about all I could say. Jesse Eisenberg minifigure though. And the Civil War sets were pretty darn cool. It was our first Lego Black Panther. Cheap way to get Winter Soldier, because Winter Soldier before this was only available in a polybag. And first MCU Falcon. Cheap way to get that updated Black Widow, which was only in that big Avengers Age of Ultron set. This is still a great set. I don't like this part, but I like the airport build, and more specifically Giant Man, which is a fantastic, very cool figures here where they updated Black Widow, Scarlet Witch to make her more accurate. Trying to see what else. Oh, they had some Avengers just indirect tie-in sets that January, which gave us our first Lego Thanos, gave us our first Lego Captain Marvel, and Hyperion. That's a character I forgot about. Also, there was a classic TV Batman set, which a lot of people don't like, but I like this. Like, I actually really like, first off, the figures here. Also, the builds here are just, they're so weird, but they're cool. I mean, there's a cool pattern here, especially. It was like a 1x4 pattern. And in general, I think that year, both superhero, like DC stuff was pretty good. I mean, this was like the rise of the oversized motorcycles, but fantastic figures because they just had that extra level of printing. I remember this came out in spring, and that was like revolutionary to get that Harley Quinn with the ponytail. This was this pretty cool build here, I guess. Cool figures, again, characters we haven't really seen in Lego before. Killer Croc, Cool figures. So at the very least, there was some cool minifigures in the DC stuff. If the builds, they weren't like. Here's the thing, like I would complain about them now, but like the ones now are like they're so simplified. At least these have some depth to them. At least they look kind of interesting. At least they don't look repetitive. So it's kind of sad. This one has cool builds. Like I like this part, and I like the figures too. Or for only Ra's al Ghul, you know. And then the Spider-Man sets that summer, like that summer Marvel sets were probably the best ones because this is like the best Lego Spider-Man set with the Daily Bugle. Like the bridge battle is amazing. What a great build, and pretty cool build for Ghost Rider's cycle, even if it is a little bit oversized. Cool street build. First and only Ghost Rider. First and only Hobgoblin. This existed. It still annoys me that they used the Doc Brown face for Captain Stacy. This was, oh my gosh, that one, it was a retail exclusive Doctor Strange set, and this was just a fantastic build right here. I love the Sanctum Sanctorum, very simplified, not simplified, but small section, but you got a lot on display, a lot to play with this little portal beast. Cool figures too. That's one of the best Marvel sets. Very good year for superheroes in my opinion. Also the first Mighty Micros, which were cute. They kind of came and went, but they were cute. Where they would take these figures and they were all exclusive, where they would have a new torso print and a new face print. Many times people would use those torso prints for like comic book versions because you could just take the small legs. But it is weird they had such stylized eyes. Oh, and this was just like the set everybody wanted because it had MCU Spider-Man. It was the first set to have the MCU Spider-Man. Also, nice exclusive Hawkeye, and they updated Vision. Anyways, though, that's it for 2016. 2017. Okay, this is going on way too long, but I'm going to finish this, okay? One of my least favorite modulars here. I don't know. It just, when I look at this, there's nothing that stands out. Even if there is a pretzel shop or a bakery shop, there's just not anything that, like, as a whole, it looks cool. But, like, the buildings, there's nothing with the buildings that, like, I can't say, oh, I love this building right here. Oh, I love this building. I love this building. One part, though, in the interior is that, like, there's a Lego fan room, which was kind of cool. So they had, like, a cool print there. And they had, like, a little Lego setup. That's cool. But, like, the exterior buildings just don't not impress me. They just don't stand out to me. They're just, and I think this is celebrating 10 years of modulars, and I think that's the point. But me personally, it's just like, it's just there, you know. But anyways, they re-released Taj Mahal. London Bus was kind of cool. Winter Village Station was kind of cool. Cars came back, which they brought back the system in a very sly way, where they made some simplified versions of like the existing pieces, but like if you put them side by side, the Cars 3 figures go along with the Cars 2 figures, so I like that, except if you look at these, which were awful, but that was a whole thing back in the day. But again, I liked the Lego Cars sets because I liked the system they had going on. I thought they were cute, and they kept everything relatively cheap because it was all juniors. Even more Cars stuff. Oh man, these are classic looking back. Now I want to review more Cars, honestly. I was so hyped for these for some reason. But again, the Cars 3 movie was fine. And that was like a late release set because it had a spoiler. It was the only one with Jackson Storm. But it was the recolor of Lightning McQueen. Going down, Minecraft had a pretty good year. This was like when they basically had a reboot wave where they had like 6 sets in the original. Another D2C set. Yeah, they had 2 Minecraft D2Cs back to back, and I don't think they're gonna make any more because they didn't sell too well. A weird Adventure Time idea set. Fantastic old fishing store set. I love this one. One of my favorite Lego sets for sure. And you could just get a tease at what's coming because this was the first year and only year with 2 Lego movies coming out, with Lego Batman and Lego Ninjago movie. The Moana Maui figure is one of my favorite big figs. DC Superhero Girls was a theme that came and went, unfortunately. Because I liked a lot of these figures, and the builds were pretty cool, but it just didn't sell. They were one of the worst selling Lego themes. More elves. Friends, I'm trying to see. Some sets were kind of cute, I guess, like the pizzeria and the gift delivery, but as a whole, not really an amazing year. Hospital was kind of cool. Hot cocoa thing, because in the summer they had a snow theming. It was like a snow resort theming. Brickheads were in full swing, so these were some later releases, but also some of the first ones were based off the Lego Batman movie and Lego and Captain America Civil War, even though it was a year later. Beauty and the Beast, indirect tie-ins, also Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man Tells No Tales direct tie-ins. More police stuff that year, which were boring. Pizza Van, this one kicked butt. Fishing Boat kicked butt as well. Jungle stuff that summer, which was pretty cool. I did like these. I kind of regret not getting this one because it's a fun play set. Reminded me a little bit of Adventures. Nexo Knights had its second year, and these had like a weird ghost theming to them. And I love the figures of them, like the purple figures or whatever they were. I think they were like lightning creatures, but it's just, again, the builds were very repetitive in my opinion. It got old very quick. I think Ninjago does a better job of adapting with different builds for the different themings, but here it just felt like we were getting the same builds over and over and over again. I don't know. That's just how I felt. Again, lots of great minifigures though, so that is something. I'm amazed I didn't get this because I remember this was a retail exclusive, but I thought I got that. Huh. Their gimmick this time was battle suits, which were, I mean, there's some interesting mech-like framing and everything, but meh. Okay, Ninjago movie. Lego Ninjago movie is one of my favorite themes, even though the Ninjago movie is probably the worst of the Lego movies, because some of these builds are great. Like, first off, this was a $20 set. What a great $20 set filled with interesting figures, interesting builds. This was another fantastic build, like just one of the best Lego dragons ever. They didn't use specialized heads or whatever, even though I say that as I see this whole bottom part's a little bit specialized. But you get the point. Like, it's just like the Lego movie. It's very brick built. It's very creative, and I like that. Great mech here. Fantastic temple here. Regret not getting it. And then this is just one of the best Lego sets ever. The Destiny's Bounty. It's still amazing to this day. Love that design so much. Just the level of detail in there is just fantastic. And Ninjago City, again, another fantastic. Just so much going on, so much detail, so much consistency with this shaping. But also, it's a very inconsistent, messy set like a city should be. I love that. But earlier in that year, before Ninjago movie, they had these, I had the Hands of Time sets, which were like, I mean, they were... not really my favorite of the Lego Ninjago sub-themes, honestly. It wasn't bad, but nothing... I don't know. It just had a weird style to it. Very jungle-y in a way. I don't know. Anyways, though, more Ninjago movie sets with another fantastic one right here. Another really cool one with the Piranha attack. And then Lego Batman movie was another fantastic theme. Great small set. Great $20 set. Great $20 set. Again, look. Not an oversized motorcycle. That looks fine. Why do they always insist on making these big tires, whatever? This looks fine to me. A little jewelry store. That was all $20. $30. You got all these obscure villains, including freaking Kite Man. Like, come on. $30 for this one. I like this one, or was it 40? I don't remember, but I like this one. A lot of people didn't like it. I think this is like the best Clayface to this day. It just looks really cool with the color scheme and everything, and how you could replace it. And I love that exclusive hairpiece that hasn't been reprinted to this day. Didn't like that one. This was super cool. I love the lowrider design. It was just it reminded me of the Lunar Limo. Yeah, I like this one. Looking back, it was just so ridiculous and pretty redneck, I guess. Yeah, I got this one for like $20 at Walmart. Not my favorite Batcave. This was great. This was a great retail exclusive for $20. Love the pizza. I love anything with like pizza vehicles, pizza stores, whatever. Pretty cool vehicle, even though I don't think it was an exclusive figure, because I think this version came in like a book or something, but this vehicle is just one of the best of the line. It's a very luxurious, classical looking vehicle. And then another fantastic set that I missed out on, which was the Arkham Asylum. And then for the Summer Wave, very cool small set. Great figures here. Justin Mom did a review of that. Great figures here. And this one had a pretty cool build. This one is a pretty cool build. Great figures, where we got our first flying monkeys, and also our second Wicked Witch, which was from Dimensions, and also only Polka Dot Man. Cool Alfred variant there. And then Joker Manor, which I still consider a 2018 set, but I have this, haven't built it, but this is probably my favorite build of the whole wave, and I still haven't built it, but I love this design. I don't know. It's a cool design to have not only the Wayne Manor, but the Joker, the aesthetic put over it, and there's lots of cool figures there. The CMF series for Lego Batman gave us some hilarious variants like Fairy Batman and Vacation Batman. It was actually a pretty strong series, honestly. Lots of specialized pieces. It was the first series with 20 minifigures too, and that's something they keep up with all of these movie series, it seems like. And Series 17 was not really one of my favorites. Some cool ones like Hot Dog Man and Veterinarian, Retro Spaceman, and Yuppie. And they did this weird gimmick where the Highwayman was blacked out on like packaging and everything, but he was just as common to get. I don't know what the point of that was, but I guess to drive up sales. Ninjago movie series was pretty darn cool too. Love Easy Way to Get Misako. Shark Army General #1 is a #1 wifig. Also, N-Pop Girl was great. Nice reference to Batman, and there's even a reference to Unikitty here. So that was a good series. Silent Mary is a set I really want to get back, but not my favorite of the Pirates of the Caribbean boats, but that's not saying much because those other ones are fantastic. This is still a great build. Ninjago, not Ninjago. Dimensions that year gave us some Teen Titans Go, which first time we're getting sets based off of that, which gave us some specialized hair pieces right there with Beast Boy. And also Goonies. Again, random license. Okay, I'll take it. Knight Rider, random license. I'll take it. More Teen Titans Go. Powerpuff Girls, which we did get a theme eventually. More Harry Potter. Beetlejuice, random license. I'll take it. Snowspeeder. Is that it for... Wow, that is it for all the... that was the last year for Dimensions, but I thought there was more. But let's see. Star Wars stood out. This stands out to me because it was a play set. This one was one of the last Rebel sets, but not Yularen, what's his name? Thrawn. Exclusive Thrawn, which is really cool. And then we got our Last Jedi sets, which of course was a movie that a lot of people don't like. I like it. I like this one for Rose. I really like the Rose minifigure where she had a new hairpiece. And this was pretty cool. Raft Tarscape came out that summer, but I thought there was a bigger... Oh yeah, the bigger ones are coming here. These were the other Last Jedi releases. I like this one. I like the Holdo. That one's cool. I still don't have that hairpiece for Rey. This was one I got on release, and yeah, I like it a lot too. I think it's a pretty cool design. It was the only way to get Snoke until the summer of the following year. UCS Falcon came out that year, which is cool. So detailed. And the Speed Champions that year, this was probably my favorite. I like this. This was like a one they kept private for a while, and then it just kind of got revealed. It was like the only summer release for Speed Champions, but it was kind of cool. I think it was based off a new car, but I might be wrong. And then for superheroes that year, we got more Mighty Micros, our only Wonder Woman movie set, which was pretty cool, almost similar to the Giant Man minifigure. Actually a pretty good build with the plane here too. And there's also the Avengers indirect tie-in sets, so these were just the comic sets. Miss Marvel there, right? Really cool figure with stretchy arms. Another pretty obscure character that I even forgot his name. This was another comic set which gave us Justin Hammer and Coulson for the first time, and a cool car here. I like this set a lot. I have it, but I never built it and I lost it. So I don't know where it's at. I want to build it. I've been wanting to build it lately. I love the Invincible Iron Man too, which that's the first time we got that helmet. It was that set and then this set right here. Which that helmet's used for a lot of things to this day. And this was kind of cool to get Red Hulk, Red She-Hulk, She-Hulk, and Red Hulk and Green Hulk. All of these were exclusive characters, but this build sucked and it was like $60. Yucky. Then we got Guardians 2 sets, which were pretty cool. Like, interesting builds here. Love Mantis. Interesting builds here. Love these figures. Yondu, exclusive. Not the best of the Milanos. I'd actually say this is like the worst of the 3 sets, but still pretty cute. Also, Baby Groot came in these sets, which I almost forgot about, which was just an adorable little build. And also Homecoming sets. This was pretty cute with the build, small little bank. Love the Imposter Avengers. And also this one, which came us MCU Vulture, which unfortunately didn't have Michael Keaton face print underneath. And an updated Iron Man. Pretty cool set. Also Thor Ragnarok. I forgot all 3 of these came out this year. Oh my gosh. This gave us cool figures. And the Coliseum one also gave us some really cool figures. I love that Gladiator Hulk or whatever. And of course Jeff Goldblum, which hairpiece isn't exactly accurate. And we got 3 Justice League movie sets, which, yeah, that movie was pretty bad. But I like these sets. Like, this one right here I quite like. This was one of the worst selling sets of that year, but I love how it came with 4 figures for $20 and lots of detailed figures. This one I really liked. Just a very strange build, but also I liked that updated Flash. Like that was one of my favorite minifigures of that year, and he only came in that set. And then this right here was, I don't know, it was like 120 or something. The Cyborg was kind of cool, I guess, but that's about all I could say there. I think that's it. Is that it for 2017? Oh my gosh, I feel like I'm missing out on something. Like, what? Did we do the idea sets this year? Was this old fishing store? This video is going on so long. It's like, oh my gosh, ideas. Let me see. I just got to double check. Okay, yeah, we did. All right. Well, 2018. Okay. Starting off, some of the best direct-to-consumer sets with the coaster and also the Downtown Diner, which, again, might be my favorite modular. I always say that with every modular because so many great modulars. This set I still have to get. I'll get that before it retires. It's a remake of a set that was very hard to get back in the day. Pretty good Winter Village set with the fire station. More Jurassic World sets, which these are the juniors ones. We'll get to the bigger ones later. It's getting long in the video, but I'm going to make it, okay? Incredibles 2 got 3 sets, which, okay, you know, they're junior sets, but they had some pretty cool builds here. They weren't totally bad. Definitely some of the most interesting figures, though, where they didn't appear in other sets. The only one we got before was Mr. Incredible, but, you know, I like getting Pixar sets in general, so I'll take it. And try and see, not too much else in the beginning here, but what was that? Oh, that was just, these are all poly bags. Okay, we're getting through all the poly bags. Creator sets, again, lots of amusement park stuff. So this one had the pirate coaster, which is a set I do own. I don't know why it says I don't own it. And Brickheads, seasonal stuff, the first wave. Let's see. Oh, Powerpuff Girls got 2 random sets for some reason. That was a random theme. But it gave us a Lego Mojo Jojo, so I'm happy. Come on, load. I want to see the Infinity War stuff. I want to see, because this was like, Infinity War was like the biggest thing this year. Like, that was just amazing. Oh, this was a cool Friends set, the Drifting Diner. I like that. Where is it? It was just a good burger shop. And this is when Friends started doing more gender neutral colors, as people would say. It rebooted itself. So like, they changed the skin color of, what is it? Oh my, is it Maria? Olivia. They changed Olivia's skin color. Where is she? She's, oh, right here. So they changed her skin color. They changed the designs of some of the other ones. Andrea got different hair. And they kind of rebooted Friends to make it more gender neutral in a way. And I think that made for some fantastic builds. Like, this was a great build. And these are all great builds. I just never got them. And Unikitty got sets as well. There was a Unikitty theme. They were cute. I liked this one especially. I like fairground stuff. A lot of fairground stuff that year, and this gave me like a good selection of those crazy minifigures. I was gonna say creepy, but they're not creepy. Lots of more Brickheads. This was also like the year of just Lego pumping out a billion Brickheads just for random licenses. Like, yeah, we got a Homer Simpson one. Okay, that's amazing. Nightmare Before Christmas, which that was before we even got a Sally minifigure. Mickey Mouse, Ghostbusters. They would just do every license. Minecraft, Back to the Future. That was a Justice League one. Incredibles. It was kind of interesting. And then they went back on it in 2019, and then it seems like they're going back to doing random ones in 2020. Okay, so police that year, really not much interesting things. Mountain police, whatever. Mining stuff, whatever. Arctic stuff that summer was pretty cool because it was cool to see these prehistoric animals come back. And this was a pretty cool set I never ended up getting. Hospital was, what? It says I want it. Again, I didn't update this. I own the hospital. But this was a fantastic set. I mean, this is, we get a hospital every 6 years. So this, I think, is worthy. I think it's probably the best hospital yet, honestly. And the Ninjago stuff was Sons of Garmadons, which was like Sons of Anarchy parody or whatever. And it was motorcycle stuff. So like, I really didn't like these. The only cool one was probably this one. And they had these cool things called the Oni masks, which those were cool pieces. But yeah, this was one of my least favorites, if not my least favorite Ninjago wave. I just thought they were like so boring and just so, ugh. Oh my gosh, I did not like them. But again, that's not my, I don't like motorcycles, choppers, stuff like that. The summer stuff was pretty cool though. It was what is it called? Hunted. And this was a cool set, like a good $20 set. Pretty cool dragons. Pretty cool steampunk aesthetic. Not one of my favorites. Lego sent me like every one of these, and I felt bad because I didn't review every one of them. Except I don't think they sent me this one. Yeah, they didn't send me that one because that was like a retail exclusive. But this was also the first wave after the Ninjago movie. And because of that, they did this weird thing of retconning where they took the designs of the Ninjago movies, inverted the colors of them. So, for example, Kai would have a black outfit and then red. Now he has a black headband and then he has a red mask. And they reused, like, I forgot how they explained this in the show. I read about it, but they ended up reusing, like, face prints and everything. So, like, for example, I'm trying to see one with hair pieces, but, like, they would just use totally different hairs than what they had in the show. Lloyd has green eyes now, and it was something that ticked off a lot of fans. Like, a lot of fans did not like that they were, you know, taking the Ninjago movie stuff as the main lore and kind of erasing what was before. But apparently they had an explanation for it or whatever, so maybe I'm totally off with that. They only have one Ninjago movie set in 2018, which was the Ninjago City Docks. That's a great set. You know, I do like that one, so I don't mind it, you know. So I'm glad with that. They had more Lego Batman movie sets, though, with a small wave. And these were, like, some of the best for, like, the minifigures. Like, they had this Justice League party that gave us all these exclusive variants or just characters we've never seen before. And then they had the Egg Mech, which was just like Egghead and Condiment King, two very requested characters. This one I still want to this day. I regret not getting it, but it's fairly cheap. I'll buy it eventually because I want Gentleman Ghost. I want Crazy Quilt, whatever his name is. This version of Harley Quinn. Interesting little setup here. This, oh man, I regret not getting this either. I love this Bat Space Shuttle. It's just so freaking ridiculous, but I'll take it. And they gave us... I forgot what they called it. I think it was Rasta Batman or something like that, but it was amazing. I want that figure, you know? So that's another one I got by secondhand. They gave us a series 2 of Lego Batman movie, which I heard this one didn't sell too well. I understand why, but this was actually a pretty good series. Like, I liked Soccer Mom Batgirl. I liked Tropical Joker. Clock King was really cool because that was another one we requested for a while. That wasn't in the first wave. The Wonder Twins were cool inclusions. Zod was here and Jor-El. I mean, I'll take it. You know, Black Canary. So it was cool, but again, it was all this came out after the hype of the movie, and this is really when Lego started to kind of dip in sales and things like that because it felt like they were putting out too much, and I think they needed to scale back. I don't know. That's just my 2 cents, though. So these didn't sell too well. This didn't sell too well. Series 18 was the celebration of 40 years of the Lego minifigure. Not my favorite because I don't really care about the costume characters too much. Some of the classic ones I like and more, but like it was cool to get a remake of, this was like nostalgia bait. Like we got a remake of like the first Lego minifigure with a 1x2 print and he was rare to get. That was cool. Dragon Suit Guy was cool because that was like a tribute to like the Lego dragon from Fantasy Era Castle. But then you got stuff like, I don't know, Cat Costume Girl, which looks like nothing like a Lego cat they've had before. Race Car Guy, these two were cool. Okay, and there's some other ones. Let me see. Birthday Suit Party Boy was pretty cool because I like the new hair pieces. I like new hair pieces. I don't know. Spider I didn't like. Elephant I didn't really like that much. Cactus I didn't really like. Whatever. Also, Harry Potter came back that year, and we got loads and loads and loads of exclusive minifigures in a minifigure series, which was the biggest Lego minifigure series yet at 22 minifigures. So not only did we get all these figures, which was great because these were super detailed characters we were missing or characters we didn't get remade that wave, lots of new hair pieces, but also, oh man, it didn't lead into this. We'll get to them later, but we got some fantastic sets for Harry Potter that year too. The Ninjago Nexonite sets this wave kind of sucked, honestly. I mean, again, more of the same. Very repetitive, like, okay, this is like the 15th night mech or whatever. Another flying one. That was the one that I said was similar to the other one. Like, I didn't like it. Star Wars, this wave. This one stood out because this was the only way to get Old Man Luke for the longest time. $30 set. Cheap way to get Porg, too. Because the Porgs were only in the UCS Falcon. Pretty interesting remakes with, like, Amos Eisley and this strange Sand Speeder set. I don't know what's going on here. This Last Jedi set that people hated, but I love the figures here with that specialized Rose and specialized Finn. See, Finn has an exclusive face print, or it was exclusive for a while. I think they reprinted it. And then Rose just has this exclusive hair hat combo that they made just for the set. A new Phasma. The build was pretty bad though, looking back. Battle Crate, which was kind of cool. And again, interesting remakes. Hoth Medical Chamber. Okay, that's a pretty cool $30 set. Yoda's Hut. All right, we haven't got one of those in a while. I'll take that. So that was cool. And also we got the solo sets, which to me had some really cool figures. And this was a pretty cool build. Cool figure, cool figures. Also, hey, OT TIE Fighter. That's cool. Interesting, blue Falcon there, Kessel Run Falcon. Cool figures, some of which are still exclusive to this day. So that was an interesting wave of sets. We got some more in the summer, which I still want to get to this day. I like variants of existing figures, so this is kind of cool. Cool figure here who's only exclusive in this set. I don't know if they'll ever make any more of these, solo sets. Cool build, in my opinion. I like the color scheme. I like the figures here. Specialized heads just for this one set. Really cool figure. Really cool figure. So that was something that stood out with the solo sets for me. Also, the summer gave us the Snoke's Throne Room, one of the most iconic builds of The Last Jedi. But the execution here was awful, where it didn't have any of the red curtains or whatever, which just destroyed the set, and it was drastically overpriced. It was a mess. It was a mess, folks. It was a mess. Cloud City I liked, but apparently didn't sell too well, and a lot of other people didn't like it. I just have the problem that it's very oddly shaped, so I have no place to really display it, and that's why I haven't gotten it. But I like this mini scale little slave one they got going on. The last of the buildable figures. Some more Speed Champs, which had some cool stuff like this Ford Mustang flashback. New Jurassic World sets. One that stood out was the Indoraptor Rampage. I love the build of the mansion there. I still have it on display to this day. Pretty cool dinos that they gave us. They gave us updates to existing ones too. I like this one right here. Stiggy Moloch, cool build, good $30 set. I thought these were pretty good, but a lot of people didn't end up liking these. This was a pretty cool build too. Really cool dinosaur. Really cool build. And I like how they kept each one to have an exclusive dino. They also gave us a Jurassic Park original movie set, which was an awesome retail exclusive. Nice scenes to recreate there, and some fantastic figures that were reprinted this year in 2019 in that big D2C set. Then also they had these Harry Potter sets, which is the reboot of the wave, and what they did was basically what they did in 2010, where they took the older movies and they just did the first two movies. So all we got was sets on Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets, except for this one set right here, which is Prisoner of Azkaban. But even that's kind of inconsistent because they don't use mid-legs, even though the new Prisoner of Azkaban sets use mid-legs. But at the end of the day, it gave us this really cool system where you could expand Hogwarts by buying this set, and then they have another one this year, and I love where that's going, and I hope they make more of those in the future, and there's so much potential there. Also gave us some of our first Fantastic Beasts sets, because all we got before was the Dimension sets. For superheroes, I don't know, the DC stuff wasn't really that good, besides the figures included. Cool figures, first Crypto, first Lobo, also some more here. The Black Panther figures were pretty darn cool, and there were some interesting builds. I like that build, and I like this Rhino build here. Very cool figures. Love the detailing on them. And then the Infinity War sets were something else. I mean, the builds weren't really that good. I mean, cool Hulkbuster. I own the UCS Hulkbuster. I don't quite like that, but the figures were what a lot of people wanted. But this was a great build and great figures. I mean, yeah, he should have had dual molded legs. But other than that, I mean, the build of this set, the Sanctum Sanctorum, this is one of my favorite LEGO Marvel sets. I love how you could open it up, display it like this, where there's a building on both sides, or you could close it and display it as one building, which has Peter Parker's apartment, a pizza place, and the Sanctum Sanctorum. It's a really, really good build. But other than that, it did feel like they were kind of slacking on these other Infinity War builds. So, I don't know. It did get worse, though. 2019 might be the worst year for, LEGO Marvel and everything. Either way, we got the Ant-Man in the Wasp set, which was kind of cool. Pretty inaccurate helmet, though. Inaccurate helmet, yada, yada. I've complained about that many times. The Batman summer sets were, pretty obscure stuff, like Brother Eye and the Talons or whatever. Cool figures, though. And then that leads us into this year, 2019. So what did we have in 2019? Well, Corner Garage, one of my least favorites of the modulars, even though it's not, terrible. It's just not one that really appeals to me. This one right here, Gingerbread House, was my favorite of the Winter Village stuff. Love it, love it, love it. That's good. Cool little NASA Apollo 11 set to, you know, celebrate, what was it, 69, 40, 50 years, right? 50 years. And then, of course, we got Lego Toy Story. Lego Toy Story came back for Toy Story 4 this year. And you can still find these on store shelves. I mean, what are we running on to? Like 2 hours now, so I'm going to make a little bit of mistakes. But these, I mean, I love them and I hate them, and I love them and I hate them. I have a lot of mixed feelings about them, but as a whole, I'm just glad to see them make more Lego Toy Story. So that was fun to see. And it's interesting to see, like, minifigure scale, you know, non-molded head Woody. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Flintstones came out this year. Fantastic idea set. This is another really good idea set. Steamboat Willie. Oh my gosh, ideas this year was just amazing. I mean, looking back, okay, Flintstones, this was great. This was great. See, they had small problems. Like, this one missed, like, Dino, Bam Bam, and Pebbles. But other than that, love the build here, love the figures. This one's great. It was just a little overpriced at $90. This is, I mean, this has no problems. I just love this set. I mean, I gotta get this set, and I will get it soon. Don't worry. This is one of my favorite sets. I love how they even have the autumn leaves. I would have gotten it if I got it in fall, but now, since it's not fall, I can't display with the autumn leaves, and I want to display with the autumn leaves. And then the Central Perk set, seeing a Lego Friends set, I mean, that's not Lego Friends, like Lego Friends, the TV show, blows my mind. And this is basically a Big Bang Theory set, but done like a billion times better with an interesting setup. It's an actual cafe, something you don't see from Lego. Fantastic, fantastic, fantastic figures with a level of detailing. Fantastic price. This is one of the best sets of the year, and you can't deny it, even if you don't like Lego Friends. Or, you know, the Friends TV show, I mean. And then Dinosaur Fossils, this is my least favorite of all the idea sets of this year. It's not necessarily bad, it's just not really for me. Let's see. Oh, great creator set. Another pretty cool creator set. Good creator sets this year, looking back. And they started doing these, which were like, what is it, $13 or whatever, or are they 15? I don't know. This one, I think this one's more expensive than the others, because this, I think the others might even be 10, and then this is 15. What is it? Yeah, 15, 13. Okay, so there you go. But these are basically the replacement for those weird store blisters, which I didn't even cover, but like, they're interesting. And if you haven't seen them before, oh, they don't have a picture of the packaging. Come on, the packaging is weird. It's interesting packaging. They did a boo-boo and made two back to back. They used Brickhead's seasonal stuff, which in my opinion is kind of lame, because they usually do a brick built figure, a brick built seasonal set, and then a minifigure seasonal set. And it seems like they're just going to keep doing Brickhead seasonal sets, which is kind of annoying to me. Legoland actually had a really cool set. This is like amazing. I was lucky enough to get this. I mean, this is a really fun $100 set. You can only buy it at Legoland. Frozen 2 sets were kind of cool, where they had this autumn aesthetic, which I love autumn, so I would really appreciate that. Friends sets were continuing that great, more gender-neutral design that works really well. And some of these I do need to pick up. Love, love, love the Olive Garden. Rare Lego Movie 2 Brickheads, which people were ticked off at how fast those sold out. That was something where it seems like this, like I said, this year they scaled back on Brickheads, and really the only like licensed ones until like the end of the year with Star Wars was these Lego Movie 2 ones. You can only buy them from Target.com. So that was a pretty risque thing they did. And the summer stuff was space, which, yeah, I mean, okay. Pretty good space stuff. This is the great commentary you get now, because we're at like the end of the video and I'm like 2 hours in, but I love this one and I need to get that one. But other than that, I mean, some of them, I'm kind of getting tired of like the Lego City space like setup. I don't know. It's just my 2 cents. Some other cool sets though. I love this donut shop grand opening with the toy store. Also the people pack for the fun fair. I just noticed, looking back, this is the first people pack we covered, which that was something back in, what was it, 2016? That was revolutionary, the park one. Hidden Side came out this year, which is one of my favorite original themes, and one of the only original action themes that Lego has put out in the past few years. Fantastic sets from, let's see, this is a great set. Love that boat there. This is a good set. This is a great set. This is a great set. This is a good set. And this is a fantastic set. This is one of the best sets of the year, if not the best set of the year. I love it. It's a school. We never got a school before in LEGO. And not only do you have the school design, but you could make it spooky like this. Like, this isn't the default. You could hide all of that very easily. Like, it's a function of the set to hide all of it. And it just works so well. Like, I like seeing... Again, we don't get schools. We don't get these types of boats in LEGO. We don't get Shrimp Shack diners or whatever. It's just... It feels so unique, and I love it. I love the figures, too. I didn't even talk about the figures, but the figures are awesome. For the first half of Ninjago of the year, they did Legacy sets, which remade a lot of classics, which was kind of cool. And then the second half, they did this Ice Fortress stuff. And those were cool, but I didn't get too into them. Let's see. Also, the Lego Movie 2 was something that released, and unfortunately, it didn't do as well as the Lego Movie 1 or even the Lego Batman movie. And it kind of sucks because they put a lot of effort into these sets. Were they as good as the original Lego Movie sets? I don't know, but I love this set. I love this one, too. This is a great set. Maybe not as creative as the Lego Movie 1 sets, but still very fun. Very fun set. Very fun set. Apocalypseburg I just got, and I can't wait to build. That just looks amazing. One of the best sets of the year. Great. And then, like, the last wave of Lego Movie 2, we didn't even get, like, a 2020 wave. We're not getting a 2020 wave. Or just these three. And these two are definitely the better ones, but they all came with, like, exclusive figures, which I really appreciated, whether it be an exclusive expression or not. Lego Movie 2 series wasn't that good, the CMF series, but it did give us, like, more Wizard of Oz characters for some reason, which was kind of dope. Because we were missing those characters, and they were key characters to Wizard of Oz. And then Disney Series 2 gave us some more Disney characters we were missing, like Elsa and Anna, also Edna Mode and Frozen. Well, we got Edna Mode, but it was a crappy version. We got Frozone, which was definitely missing. The Nightmare Before Christmas characters, Chip and Dale, Uncle Scrooge, and Huey, Dewey, and Louie. Very good series, in my opinion. Looking back, very good series. And Series 19, not really one of my favorite series in a while, but maybe not as bad as when I first thought, because I like this guy. I like this one. I like Dog Sitter Pizza Guy. You know. Disney Train was dope as heck. I mean, I love the station, and the train's pretty cool too. You know, it's a good combo. It's just a little pricey. Star Wars this year gave us some really good battle packs, with also one based on Battlefront 2, some classic sets, you know, classic movie scenes redone, and not too much else to add there. Also, our first Lego Junior Star Wars sets, which were kind of cute in my opinion. They also gave us the 20th anniversary sets, which were cool. I still need to get that Slave 1 there, where each set would include a classic figure, which is nostalgic, and then some updated figures and updated designs. And, of course, the Rise of Skywalker sets, they were pretty cool. I mean, the Falcon I really want. I like how they close the gaps for once, and they have some interesting figures. I mean, rest in peace, that guy. Spoiler alert. Also, right here, Kylo Ren's shuttle is probably the best version of Kylo Ren's shuttle, because the last one was like totally inaccurate from The Force Awakens. More classic sets remade, and Stranger Things got a Lego set, which again, this is probably one of the best of this wave, best of this year as well. Such an interesting concept, done very well. I just have problems with the build where it disconnects very easily, and there's parts that keep falling off, but I really got to dive deep into there. It's just cool to see Stranger Things Lego with all these detailed figures, because that is a show I love, and I think it works really well as a Lego set. It was surprising to see more Jurassic World sets as well, based off of a little animated cartoon. And, we're going into Harry Potter. Of course, this is probably the most popular, because this was based off of Jurassic Park, first movie. Great figures to get for the first time. And some new dinos. I like how they updated the Dilophosaurus here with the, what is it called? Lego Jurassic World Isle Nublar or whatever. It's based off the animated short series. But the Harry Potter sets, we got Prisoner of Azkaban stuff and Goblet of Fire, which Goblet of Fire had such a small wave back in the day. It's really cool to see them redo stuff that we haven't seen in LEGO before, stuff that we have seen in a very easy way, even though I'm not sure about the execution there. But again, very cool to see some Prisoner of Azkaban stuff. Hagrid's hut was missing from the first wave. Over here, the Clock Tower is a fantastic set. Lots of customizable figures. Another great set to get remade as well. And Overwatch. This was a super surprising thing when it was announced, but they put some of the best detailed figures ever in this series. Like, oh my gosh, these two, fantastic. Those two, fantastic. These bunch. Diva's fan. I like, this is my favorite set. Like, the Diva mech looks great. The Diva minifigure is perfect. This is just the only one without minifigures, so I don't have much of a care there. This was a fun set with a Mercy that was kind of disappointing for the face printing. But also Wrecking Ball was a really cool figure. And Junkrat and Roadhog, another very cool figure set up in a good set. Just good, very detailed builds, definitely aimed towards that older crowd, but I like that. I like what they had going on there, and unfortunately I don't think it sold well, but I'll take it as it is. Either way, Spider-Man started off the year, and I don't know, I mean, the Venom mech was cool. A lot of these had cool figures where we got a new Miles Morales, got a new Carnage, we got this one, Spider-Man 20, I forgot what it was, 2099. New Sandman, just interesting figures, but nothing too amazing in terms of the builds, besides the Venom mech, perhaps. The Batman stuff had 2 sets in the beginning of the year. Cool figures here. Also, a lot of sets in the summer to celebrate the anniversary of Batman. And these work. I mean, this one I really like as a $20 set. This one I like as a $30 set. But then, like, this I don't really like. I mean, it gave us Shazam, but Shazam also came in a poly bag. And also, this build I don't really like at all. I mean, there's some cool figures, but that's about it. And then they gave us Endgame sets, which aren't even based off of I don't even know what's going on here, honestly. Like, what is this? You know, it's just like, they give us a Quantum Realm suit, but these are all reprints. One of the worst Marvel, like, waves ever was these Endgame sets. I like this. I like the War Machine Buster, even though it's not from Endgame, and it gave us an update to Ant-Man helmet. A lot of people love this one. I don't really like it, but I like the figures here. And Igor is just, he's a meme. And then we got the Quinjet. What? Okay. I mean, these sets are just awful looking back. Oh my gosh. This was a pretty cool set though. The one Captain Marvel set for $30. Nice pack of figures. Nice pack of a build. Far From Home sets were actually cool. I like the Molten Man ones. Fireman, he's another meme. Cool exclusive figure there. Very cool build here for $40. Just an interesting scenario, interesting area where it's based off of. Some very cool builds, some very fantastic minifigures exclusive to the set. And then this one was just like whatever. I mean, that's Happy Hogan. Best part was exclusive Nick Fury, if you ask me. This was actually probably the better one of the Endgame sets because I actually like this build. I like this figure for Iron Man, which I think is exclusive, and that Thanos is exclusive. But yeah, the build, probably one of the better builds of the Endgame sets. And oh yeah, there was some more Spider-Man Junior sets, you know, whatever. This was actually kind of a cool set. This one was what is it, the Batman Junior sets. This actually has some cool figures. And then they had the UCS 1989 Batmobile, which had some cool figures to it, which really draws me in. Love that Batman. And we had the Helicopter Rescue in November, which gave us some cool figures, but it wasn't really based off of Endgame, so I don't know what's going on there. And then Chinese New Year sets. These are dope as heck. I mean, this one's the worst of the bunch, and it's still awesome. And then this one is the second, and then this one is just amazing. This is like one of my favorite sets of the year. Amazing setup with all these different prints, incredible figures. They put so much detail into these. I love it. Forma was a thing that came and went. I mean, it was like a Kickstarter, and I don't even know what's going on there. And is that it? Is that it? You got some more of these packs, but oh my gosh, this video went on way too long. It went on way too long. It went on, but you know, maybe the decade went on way too long. You see how I title and then at the end, I have literally I don't even know how to end this. Like, what do I say? Best things of the decade: Lego Toy Story, Lego Simpsons, Hidden Side's up there. I like the spooky stuff like Scooby-Doo, Monster Fighters, Series 14. Lego minifigures as a theme was introduced this year. The Lego movies. There was a lot of great things in Lego this decade, and it was the decade that this channel grew and started, and now it's become something so big, and I appreciate it. And I don't know what this new decade is going to bring with Kappa and all this stuff, but like, thank you guys for sticking around me for this long. I don't have anything else to say, but I'll see you guys later. Peace out. Bye.